Welcome, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Roll the Tape film crew. Welcome to another unknown episode of Roll the Tape podcast with Manager Marty. I welcome all of you that are here with me live and in living color. Those of you that are watching the replay of this live, I welcome you as well. Feel free to engage with us in the comment section below. Feel free in the chat to engage in the chat this evening. I welcome everyone that is acknowledging me in the chat. Salute to each and every last one of you all. We're going to have a great show this evening. We're going to talk about the business of boxing, and we're going to talk about the sport of boxing. I am so excited that we are all here tonight as one big boxing family. So glad that all of you can join me tonight. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here and kick it with your boy, Manager Marty. Um, I don't even know where to start because, you know, Terence Crawford, he recently did an interview, and his words, not mine. We're going to discuss that tonight in the main event of this podcast, where Terence Crawford said that this fight between him and Errol Spence basically will sell itself. Well, if I tell you that this fight won't sell itself, most people that are watching live in the replay of this live who are Terence Crawford fans will say that I'm hating on Crawford. But when I produce the business perspective that I am going to produce tonight, you will clearly understand why I say that this fight will not sell itself and what both fighters, Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford, is going to have to do in the buildup of this fight, in the promotion, in the press conferences, in the I think it's a 6-city tour, might be more than that. But the bottom line is that this fight will not sell itself. Both fighters have some sort of obligation to the fans to make sure that they themselves sell this fight, the promotion sell this fight, the fans here on YouTube. All of us who are boxing fans, all of us on the YouTube boxing community, we all have a responsibility to sell this fight. We're going to dive into that in the main event of this podcast. But the great thing about it is that the audience that are just coming in slowly but surely, will understand this. Well, it's actually two of them. These two principles when you first join this live. You don't have to ring the doorbell when you come in this live. You don't have to dust your feet off. Want to know why? Because number one, the door is already unlocked for you. And because we are a boxing family and you are welcome. It don't even matter why you're viewing this content right now, live and living color. You are welcome. We're going to dive right into it all. Before we do, y'all know we have to do our Town Watch check-in. We're not going to do that just yet because I see people are still just coming in slowly but surely, and we will get to our Town Watch check-in momentarily. I am glad to see all of you in the chat engaging. Hope everyone has had a productive and blessed week thus far, and is looking forward to the weekend. I'm excited about it. Every time I come on the Roll the Tape podcast, or anytime I come on just to publish content during the week, I'm really excited. I saw a relative of mine earlier today, and I was telling him about the podcast, and he even acknowledged that the podcast is growing, and he likes and enjoy the podcast. And he said, "Do you like it?" And I actually really had to process that, because sometimes, when you are in the midst of just doing things that you love to do, you get caught up into just what you're doing, and you don't step back sometimes to enjoy the flowers while they're there. And so I'm learning how to humble myself in that way because I always take pride in being humble. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be famous or none of that stuff, but I do appreciate when people acknowledge me all across the country, not just on YouTube, but even when I travel, even when I'm in Philly, even just certain places. You know what I mean? People be like, "Man, Jamarty," and I'll be like, sometimes I'll be not forgetting, but like I'll be like, how can I say this? I know that I am a content creator. I know all that, but I don't have a lot of subscribers compared to most people. So I'll be looking at it sometime like, well, I don't have um, a lot of subscribers, right? But what I start slowly realizing is that it's not just about the number of subscribers you have. It's about the number of people who support the channel by viewership. That's more important. And so, I was like, you know what? Let me embrace that because I'll be just going certain places and I'll be forgetting that, I am Manager Marty because I don't want to be famous. I don't want to lose my humility. I always want to be a down to earth person and relate to everybody from all walks of life. And so, when people say, Manager Marty, you know, sometimes I'll be surprised, like, I'm just going to Walmart. You know what I mean? Like I'm just in Walmart like everybody else. But then, for some people, it's like, man, I appreciate your podcast. I thank you for, providing this perspective, man. I enjoy the show. I enjoy your content, and it feels good, and it really feels good. So, I appreciate all of your support. I said all that to say that I appreciate your support through your viewership, irregardless of whether you agree with me or not. And with regards to my business perspective, I appreciate your viewership. I appreciate the likes. I appreciate the comments. I appreciate the financial contributions. And most importantly of it all, I appreciate your time. So I want to dedicate every introduction of every podcast moving forward to salute you all and tell you that I appreciate you all spending time with me on Tuesday evening and Friday evening. Thank you all so very much. I appreciate your support. There's a guy in the chat. I miss this guy so much. I'm glad that he's here with us tonight. He is not only a moderator, but he is a member of this channel. He's one of my day one supporters of this particular channel. Him and I spent some time together, got a chance to know this guy. He's a good man. He's one of the best boxing fans that you'll ever meet, and that's my guy. He's like family to me. Mr. Pragmatic. He is in the chat. I've been missing you, Mr. Prag. Appreciate you. Salute, Mr. Pragmatic. Haven't seen you in the chat in a while, brother. Good to see you. I got a lot of other people who are day one supporters in this on this channel that's in the chat. I salute you all as well. Thank you so much for your time. As the numbers are increasing exponentially, let's get into our Town Watch check-in. Salute to everyone who's acknowledging me in the chat. Your acknowledgement does not go unnoticed. All right. Feel free to like the channel when you see or hear anything that you like on the channel. That's why I always say you don't have to dust your feet off because you don't have to automatically come in and like something if you don't know what we're talking about. You might not like it. But anytime during the duration of this show, if you like something, maybe like what you see, like what you hear, click on the like button. I really appreciate it. And every time you click on the like button, let me tell you what happens. The entertainment value and education value reverberates all around the world. So it's all about supporting each other. Salute to Dion in the chat. Always a pleasure to see her in the chat. Thank you for your support. Dub Right Side is here. And speaking of other content creators, if anyone, uh, if because I might be just talking and I might not see it in the chat. If anyone see Big Dose 513 in the chat. If I don't acknowledge him because I might be talking, please say something to me in the chat. Say, hey, man, Jamarty, Big Dose is here. I want to acknowledge him as well personally, okay? All right, let's get into it. I have a very special designation tonight. Oh, let me see. Yeah, let me talk about that, and then we'll get to our town watch check-in, right? Because I see people are just slowly coming on, and I'm glad. I'm glad. So I have a segment from now on until this alleged fight happens between Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Bud Crawford. I've been getting a lot of backlash, not just for the last 7 months I've been on YouTube, but just in general, like week after week, day after day. And I love it because it's feedback, even if it's not favorable to me. Where, some Crawford fans, most Crawford fans, would say some things to me, some inflammatory remarks, some insults, this, that, and the third. I get a kick out of it because it's all entertainment, right? So what I decided to do was to give Terence Bud Crawford fans a space. And the reason why I call them Terence Bud Crawford fans is because they call themselves Crawford fans. In other words, is they don't say they're fans of other fighters, or they're fans of the business of boxing, or they're fans of a particular YouTuber or a particular content creator. They're not fans of the sport of boxing. Most of them call themselves Crawford fans. In other words, is uh, they just like Crawford. No matter what you say and do, they're going to always take up for Terence Crawford, even if he's being illogical, even if he's not being completely honest in his statements, even if he makes a decision that is detrimental to him being undisputed in the welterweight division. Bottom line is, I am designating, and I started this on Monday. I started on Monday, and then I picked it back up on Tuesday, the Tuesday night Roll the Tape podcast broadcast. And now I'm going to do it again. I'm not going to do it just yet. Pretty soon. I want people to get a little bit more comfortable because this is going to be something different on YouTube. I'm starting something different. I started on Tuesday night. If you watched a previous video that I published on Tuesday night from two other Bud Crawford fans who came on the panel. Actually, it was three of them, but two of them stayed on the panel, and I asked them a question, and both of those guys agreed. One of them tried to say he didn't know Terence, he never ever heard Terence Crawford lie, which that was the question that I asked him. The other one admitted that. But the bottom line is, this is going to be a piece of a segment because I want to provide entertainment value, but I also want to use everything I do as a what? What's my favorite two words, y'all? Teachable what? Moment. So I'm going to designate a small, very small portion of the broadcast is moving forward, and I'm going to call it Nip It in the Bud. Y'all know that I always play on words, right? So nip it in the bud. And that's going to be a very small portion of the segment here on the Roller Tape podcast with Manager Marty, where at least two Terence Bud Crawford fans will get the opportunity to come join me live and in living color right here before the audience. And we're going to provide some entertainment and education because apparently people have been missing the educational points that I've been making throughout this whole ordeal between Terence Bud Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. and their fight. So we're going to dive into that piece of the segment, but not just yet. We got some preliminaries to deal with, and that is our Town Watch check-in. Let us do it now. Let's not wait any further. If you're just joining the live broadcast, we are about to do our Town Watch check-in. If this is your first time joining us live, I'm going to explain to you what Town Watch check-in means. If you are watching the replay of this live, you can also join in by commenting in the comment section below, and we're going to tell you the little nuances of it. It's very simple. So in our Town Watch check-in, the Town Watch check-in is where everyone in the chat or the comment section below, if you're watching the replay of this live, will be able to publicly insert where they're from, whether it be where you were born, where you were raised, or where you reside now, city, state, island, and or country in the chat, right? And when you do that, I am going to acknowledge it publicly, and I'm going to start it off first, and then you all in the chat, you already know how it is if you've been a part of this segment previously. I will acknowledge it publicly, and there is a reason why I do what I like to call town watch check-ins. The reason why is because we have so many things we can agree with. We have so many things we can disagree with when it comes down to boxing. However, the great thing about it is, even though we're from different parts of the world, no matter what your city, state, island, and or country is, we all share one thing in common, and that is our love and support for one of the greatest sports in the world, and that is the sports of boxing. So, let us not wait too long. I'm gonna start it off. You all in the chat, follow up. I'm gonna publicly acknowledge. Man, y'all know what I do. So let me start it off. Y'all know I represent the DFW area, the state of Texas. I love the state of Texas. Most of y'all already know that already. We got Arlington, Texas, by way of the section of Mansfield, Tarrant County to be exact. Yeah. That's where I resided. And I am also celebrating and representing my city, Philadelphia. And I'm not talking about Philadelphia, Mississippi. I'm talking about Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So I'm representing DFW and Philly. Where are you representing? Show us in the chat. I'm going to publicly acknowledge you. This is our icebreaker. This is where we build up the show. This is what I like to call our bread and water if we were sitting in a restaurant. So starting off at Port City 910, I see you in the building. Who else we got here? Woo, Northeast, Washington, D.C. I see you in the building. Come on in, y'all. Come on and check on in. We got Asbury Park, New Jersey in the building. We got Washington, D.C. I see you, Greg, from D.C. Bridgeport, Connecticut is here in the building. We got Metro Atlanta in the building. I know that Windy City Assassin is here as well. I already know where he's from, but I can't wait until he type it in the chat so I can publicly acknowledge it. We have Miami, Florida, by way of Charleston, South Carolina here. We got my guy, one of my day one supporters from LA, Clifford in the building. What's up, Cliff? Oh, we got Caribbean, St. Martin in the building. I don't know if this is true or not. I hope it is. But I see someone that says Saudi Arabia is in the building. Salute to everybody in Saudi Arabia. We got the Windy City. Chicago, Illinois is here. Kansas City is here. Oh, the great country of Cuba is in the building. We also got Chester in the building. Chester, PA. What's up? Who else we got in here? Man, we got Saudi Arabia, Cuba. Man, listen, this is, let me tell you what boxing do. Boxing bring everybody together, no matter where you from in the entire world. Y'all know what they say, right? In New York, BX or B next. Got my guy from the Bronx in the building. Who else we got in here? St. Louis. Got to represent St. Louis. St. Louis is in the building. Mobile, Alabama is here as well. Who else we got in here? Yup, somebody else from Chester, PA is in the building. I see you. Representing Durham, North Carolina, Bull City is in the building. Mr. Vegas, I see you in the chat, brother. Please let the people know where you're from so I can go ahead and acknowledge it. East St. Louis is in the building. Let's go. South Park, Texas is here. Let's go. Who else we got here? Woo! Fairfax, Virginia is here with us tonight. Man, we got people from the South, from the North, from the East, West, Midwest, other countries all over the world is here with us tonight. West Side, H-Town in the building. Houston, yes indeed. Salute to all the ladies that are viewing right now. Thank you for your support, not just for the sport of boxing, but also your support of this channel. Salute to all the ladies that are in the chat. I commend each and every one of you women who find it not robbery to support the great sport of boxing. So I always try to make sure when I see you all in the chat that I acknowledge you. Hampton, Virginia is in the building. Who else we got in here? Let's go. Let's check on in. We still got a little bit of time now. Who else we got in here? Yes, indeed. Yeah, somebody said I'm international. International manager, Marty. Yes, sir. Oh, my guy is here. My man Mike is in the building from Maryville, Indiana. He's my guy. I always got to shout him out when I see him. Absolutely. Who else we got in here? Oh, we got a few more moments. Few more moments as the viewership is increasing exponentially. You better believe it. Come on in. Check right on in. We're gonna get this thing started. Yes, indeed. Yes, we're gonna get this thing started. Joliet, Illinois. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly. Joliet, Illinois is in the building. Who else we got here? Oh, I didn't even know my boy DC Jeroy was here. Salute to my man DC in the building. Woo! London is in the house. London is here. Man, we got people from all walks of life is here. And guess what? We all come together because we love the sport of boxing. Georgia in the building. I see you, Dub. GA in the building. Absolutely. Yes, yes. Let's get it. Let's get it. Anybody else before we move on? Anybody else? Anybody else? And here's the thing. This is the great thing about it. Even if you haven't decided to represent where you're from at this particular moment, later on in the show, you might feel led to do so. If I see it in the chat, even if it's not like right now, if I see it, I'm still going to publicly acknowledge it. Okay? So I just wanted to let you know that so that we all can be on the same page. Absolutely. Dallas is in the building. Yes, yes, indeed. Who else we got in here? One more before we get this thing cracking. One more. KCMO is in the building. One more. One more. Let's get one more. One more acknowledgement. Who else we got in here? This is our Town Watch check-in if you're just joining us live. Come on in. Come on in. We're going to have some fun this evening. Yes, indeed. Got one more. Got one more. Got two more from California and the DMV area in the building. Appreciate you all. Salute to everyone that participated in the chat. And if you participated in the comment section below, if you're viewing the replay of this live, I appreciate and salute you as well. Now that we got that out of the way, I just want to give the new audience that's just joining us live, right? Just a sneak peek of what we're going to talk about. In the main event tonight, we're going to dive into Terence Crawford's recent interview where he quoted by saying that the fight between him and Errol Spence Jr. will sell itself. That's what he said. We're going to provide a business perspective on that because as you can see on your screen, this fight won't sell itself. Absolutely not. Omaha, Nebraska is in the building. I see you. Alabama is here. Rhode Island is here. Let's talk about it. Okay, now, what else we got talked about tonight? Oh, that's right. Our small special segment that I am going to designate for two lucky contestants. That's right. You only have to meet one criteria and one qualification, and that is to be a Terence Bud Crawford fan. Oh yes, I've been catching slack for the last 7 months since I've been on YouTube, and for the last 4 months since I've been a content creator officially from Terence Bud Crawford fans. So I'm going to do something that most people on YouTube haven't done yet, because I like making history and being unique, and that is to designate a small portion of my platform to two lucky contestants, starting on Tuesday night that we just did our podcast on, and then today. And we're going to move forward with this, okay? So the segment is going to be called Nip It in the Bud. Clinton, Maryland is in the house. Texas is also here. And so Nip It in the Bud, right? Hence the word bud, right? Is that designated special segment for two lucky contestants that will join me live on the air in front of the entire world to be able to ask Manager Marty questions, to be able to make respectful comments to Manager Marty, and for me to do the same for them. And I can't wait till we get to that segment. As the numbers of viewership increasing exponentially, I cannot wait because I hope you all got your popcorn ready tonight. We're going to have fun this evening. And so, before we get into the main event, which is the entree on this podcast tonight, before we get to the appetizer, which is our nip it in the bud segment, we got to talk, right? We got to talk about we got to talk about man, we got to talk about De La Hoya, y'all. We just got to talk about it. As a family, we have to talk about Oscar De La Hoya, and we have to talk about his relationship with Ryan Garcia, or the lack thereof. Okay, Philly in the building. I see you in the chat. Northwest, Southwest, South Side. See you in the chat. Before we do, Coach Amber. Salute, Coach Amber. Thank you for your contribution and supporting the channel. Coach Amber says, just cause I appreciate a voice of reason. Thank you so much, Coach Amber. I recall Coach Amber a few months back writing in my comments section that Coach Amber remembers seeing me. I believe it was at a local amateur boxing event. I probably was judging, most likely. And she recalled some encouraging words that I said to her after her fight. I don't remember because I always encourage the amateur boxers when they get out the ring or anytime during the segment of the event where I can encourage another fighter and give them, some pointers on what I saw and how they can improve and just encouraging them, because boxing is a very hard and difficult sport and amateurs and pros, but particularly amateurs, they dedicate their time too. And so they should be recognized as well. But Coach Amber was one of the people that I encouraged, and I don't remember it, but she did, and it impacted her. And so I appreciate her, for being a part of the live stream and just being a part of the viewership here tonight. So thank you again, Coach Amber, for your contribution. And then we have my guy, DC Geroy, always been a blessing to this channel. And he was on the panel even when I did the segment with some Terence Crawford fans on Tuesday evening. So I appreciate DC Geroy. He's the real voice of reason. A very intelligent man. Thank you for your contribution and your support to the channel, DC. He says, I know you're going to start cooking soon, brother. A little something towards the grocery bill. Thank you so much, DC Geroy. You know that the air fryer is heating up. Yes, indeed. And then my guy, I already shouted him out already, but I got to give him all of the flowers in the world. My guy, good friend of mine. He's like family to me. Thank you for your contribution. We miss you, Mr. Bragg, and we are glad that you are here with us tonight. The show is just not the same without you, my brother. So thank you so much for your support and your contribution to the channel. And Mr. Pragmatic himself says support for one of the best boxing podcasts on YouTube. Mr. Prag, I salute you. Thank you so, so very much. And let me tell you all something about Mr. Prag. Mr. Prag is not just, blowing smoke up my tailpipe. He really means that. One of the most genuine guys I know. And if he said it out his mouth, he really, really means it. So thank you so much, Mr. Pragmatic, for your support. Tell the family I said hey. And thank you for Coach Amber and even my guy, DC Geroy, for your contribution as well. Okay, now as a family, we got to talk about Oscar De La Hoya. Was it yesterday, y'all? I think it was yesterday. Or at least that's when I saw it. Oscar De La Hoya tweeted on his Twitter account, and he added Ryan Garcia in this message. I'm going to read it out loud, but it's on your screen. You can read along with me, but it's a shame. And we're going to deal with it right now as a boxing family on this podcast. I would love to get your feedback in the chat. And if you're watching the replay of this live, I would love to get your feedback in the comment section below because we're going to air fry on this evening. I'm going to read it out loud. You all can follow along if you can read it. But if you can and you're occupied, but you can listen, I'll read it so you can hear it. Oscar De La Hoya says these words about Ryan Garcia. WTF. We all know what the acronym WTF means, at least here in America. WTF at Ryan Garcia. It's been almost 2 months and you are still crying about the post presser? The blame for your loss is on you and your advisor, quote unquote advisor, Lupe. He is the only one who pushed you to accept that insane rehydration clause, and that is the reason you lost. Man up, own that. Wow. What some very strong words from Oscar De La Hoya. I mean, let's break this down in pieces and unpack this, shall we? Oscar De La Hoya is talking about the post presser, but he used the word crying, and that's one of the main issues I have with this tweet. You're still crying about the post presser. So let's talk about this in the chat. What happened at the post presser that made De La Hoya say to Ryan Garcia in this tweet, "You're crying"? What happened? Does anybody recall what happened at the post presser? You know what a post presser is, right? Of course, the word post means after. You already know what a presser is, or a form of a press conference. So we know what happened after the fight between Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis, right? Oscar De La Hoya, thank you, Mr. Pragmatic, he did not show up. Salute to you, the League of Legacies. I see you in the chat. Always a pleasure. I am also glad that you finally had some time to catch us live. Thank you so much for your viewership. Now, Oscar De La Hoya, Bernard Hopkins. I don't even recall seeing Eric Gomez there, but they said he was. So I'm not even going to include him in this. But at least Oscar De La Hoya and Bernard Hopkins, the two guys who were promoting this fight between Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis by representing Ryan Garcia, by basically saying all the stuff that they said at the press conference before the fight, hyping up everything, discrediting Leonard Ellerby and PBC, throwing shots at Al Heyman in private interviews, and all kind of stuff they was doing. And even his trainer, or former trainer that is, Joe Goosen, who I actually have a great deal of respect for, he wasn't there either. None of those three guys supported Ryan Garcia and even attended the post-fight press conference. I don't even know what B-Hop's excuse was, but I did a video on this channel, and I'm probably going to put the link in the description when I edit this live, so that you all can go back if you missed it. It's actually the top viewed piece of content on my channel, where I actually talked about the disrespect and unprofessionalism of Bernard Hopkins and Oscar De La Hoya leaving their top prospect, their top fighter, under the banner of Golden Boy Promotions at a post-fight press conference after he lost in his first loss of his whole career. And Joe Goosen, the former trainer, he didn't show up either. The excuse that Oscar De La Hoya made was that he received, no, let me get his words right here. He said his security detail, the executive security members, personal executive detail security, allegedly received some intel that he was receiving death threats behind his back. So they had to hurry up and rush him out of the building. They had to hurry up and rush De La Hoya out of the arena. And I don't know what Bernard Hopkins' excuse was. All he said was, we sent Eric Gomez there to support him because Eric Gomez is still the president of Golden Boy. But like I said in that video that I produced, Eric Gomez didn't say not one word in the press conference before the fight, but y'all want him to sit there and try to comfort Ryan Garcia in the biggest fight of his career, where he lost the first fight of his career, and y'all two former professional boxers, y'all two former professional champions, y'all two current International Boxing Hall of Fame members did not come and support Ryan Garcia. So he had the nerve, De La Hoya that is, to be insensitive by using the word crying. Sounds very unapologetic, condescending, and even unremorseful for not attending by using the words crying about the post-presser. The blame for your loss is on you and your advisor, Lupe. The last time I checked, Golden Boy Promotions is a company that Oscar De La Hoya started. So why would you blame or shift the blame on Ryan Garcia's fighter when the fighter, Ryan Garcia, is signed to your promotional company? Not only that, the advisor didn't get in the ring and throw any punches. So how can you blame the advisor for Ryan Garcia losing? In fact, you blame Ryan Garcia for the loss, Mr. De La Hoya. The blame for your loss is on you. What? But this is the reason that De La Hoya gave. He, talking about Lupe, his advisor, he is the only one who pushed you to accept that insane rehydration clause. Stop right there. I have a question for Mr. De La Hoya. If Mr. Advisor Lupe is the only one who pushed Ryan Garcia to accept that insane rehydration clause, then my question to you as the promoter, how did you let that slide? Because even if the advisor advised the fighter, you should take the fight, the fighter can't sign a contract with the advisor for a promotional fight, for an event. No, he already has a deal locked in with the advisor. So that means that Ryan Garcia signed legal documentation under a contractual obligation and agreement that he has with Golden Boy Promotion, or the fight would have never happened. So not only did De La Hoya try to back out and not hold himself accountable or his company accountable for the agreement of the rehydration clause, Bernard Hopkins is on record contradicting that by saying Ryan Garcia dared to be great. Y'all heard that interview with Bernard? Ryan Garcia gave into many concessions because he dared to be great. But here, Oscar De La Hoya is contradicting that by saying you lost, Ryan Garcia. It was your advisor who's the one who pushed to accept that insane rehydration clause. So I'll tell you what, Mr. De La Hoya, Bernard Hopkins, Golden Boy Promotions, I tell you what, give every dime that the promotion made in profit, not what you spent, what you made in profit. Go on ahead and donate that money to the fighter who lost, who took the punishment in the ring, who dedicated his life for a whole training camp to fight in the biggest fight of his career. And on top of that, he lost to a good fighter. There's no shame in losing to a good fighter. There's no shame in losing to a former world champion. There's no shame in losing to a fighter who has over 26 professional fights, with 23 or 24 of those fights ending in knockout. There's nothing wrong about losing to good fighters. Where they do that at De La Hoya? You took a body shot, De La Hoya. How you going to sit up there and criticize Ryan Garcia for losing by body shot when you took a body shot? Remember that, De La Hoya? When you took that body shot by Bernard Hopkins? And I know so many people that thought that that body shot wasn't even ripped, but I ain't even going to go there. That body shot was, I ain't even going to go there. That the fight seemed like it was rigged, I ain't even going to go there. That the body shot didn't even look like it hurt, but I ain't even going to go there. I'm just saying. Oh, I apologize. 29 wins with 27 knockouts. Sorry about that, Saint. But I'm talking about before he fought Garcia is what I'm saying. Basically my point is De La Hoya got quote unquote knocked out by a body shot. So why is he criticizing Ryan Garcia or blaming him for losing because he got caught with a body shot? And if you feel that way, that you didn't want to accept the insane rehydration clause, why you let your fighter that you representing in your promotion banner sign a contract then? And that is the reason you lost. That's what De La Hoya said. So if that is the reason why he lost, and you felt that way, De La Hoya, why didn't you provide the man any comfort? If that is the reason why he lost, because he accepted an insane rehydration clause, that should be even more of a reason for you and Bernard Hopkins to be there to support that guy at the post presser. No excuse. But you want to go publicly on your platform? I don't know how many followers he got. Probably in the millions, De La Hoya, that is. You went on your social media platform as an unprofessional boxing promoter, and this is what you say to the fighter who just made you and your company rich? Because let's be real here, ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Roller Tape Film crew. Who else does Golden Boy Promotions have on their stable or under their banner that can generate more money than Ryan Garcia? Somebody in the chat, tell me. Somebody in the replay of this live on the comment section, tell me. Who else can generate the amount of money that they made with Ryan Garcia in his last fight with them that they promote over there at Golden Boy? Who else? No one. None. No one. He just made y'all a millionaire again. Hard work, dedication, blood, sweat, and tears. Win, lose, or draw. Ryan Garcia, according to Bernard Hopkins, Ryan Garcia did what? He did something that was unreasonable. He gave into many concessions. This is Bernard words. He dared to be great. Those are Bernard Hopkins words. Before the fight. Now, after the fight, all of a sudden now, Ryan Garcia is being blamed for losing. Ryan Garcia's advisor is being blamed for quote unquote pushing to accept an insane rehydration clause. Interesting to me. Ryan Garcia is Golden Boy Promotions' biggest star, and we all know that. I got to do this because I like to show my face when I'm addressing people. Ryan Garcia is Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions' biggest star. They are not promoting no one else that will generate them the same amount of money or even more money than Ryan Garcia. Before Ryan Garcia fought Tank Davis, they was halfway promoting Ryan Garcia in the first place. I already made a reference about that on my channel in earlier publications. Y'all can go check that out. And the reason why they was promoting Ryan Garcia the way they were and hating on Al Heyman and PBC is because we all know this. You've heard me say this time and time again. PBC has iPhone and Android product over there, and Golden Boy Promotion has Boost Mobile products. That's not an opinion. That is a fact. He just made them a millionaire. Again. Now, what I would advise Ryan Garcia to do, if he haven't done so already, I would advise, after reading that tweet from a guy who claims that he got his back, I would leave De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions alone. Absolutely. That's what I would do. He already has an advisor, according to this post here. And I'm sure he can make way more money doing business elsewhere, Ryan Garcia. Because let me share this with you all. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Just because a fighter lose a fight does not necessarily mean that they lost. Let me reframe that. Just because a fighter loses a fight inside of the ring does not necessarily mean that they lost outside of the ring. Let me take that to another step. Ryan Garcia, just because he lost, could have possibly won more fans. You know, like Isaac Cruz, when he lost to Tank Davis? Yeah, he won fans after that fight. I know he won me as a fan of him. I'll stand up first and say, I like Isaac Cruz. Before that, but definitely the way he conducted himself in that fight, he won more fans than he had before the fight. So just because a fighter loses inside the ring doesn't necessarily mean they cannot win more fans. You can lose a fight just as quick as you can lose a fan. But you can lose a fight and still win a fan. And when you win fans in this business, you win funds. And we all know that. And so I wouldn't be surprised if Ryan Garcia won fans, even though he lost to a good fighter, which he should never, ever hang his head low about. And he didn't hang his head low. He kept his head high at the press conference, and that young man stood tall, and he should be saluted and commended for that. Is saluted a word, y'all? Well, it sounded appropriate if it's not. He should be commended for standing up tall, that young man. He didn't run. He didn't duck and hide. He stood up tall and came to that press conference with his head up high and busted up with Tank Davis after all that. That's what boxing is all about. Boxing is not about businessmen using social media or their platform of hundreds of thousands of millions of followers, large audiences, to degrade somebody else. And that's what we've seen De La Hoya do. We've seen Oscar De La Hoya degrade Leonard Ellaby. We've seen De La Hoya degrade Al Heyman. We've seen De La Hoya degrade Floyd Mayweather. We've even seen De La Hoya degrade other people. And now we see De La Hoya degrading a guy that was under his own promotion banner, Ryan Garcia. Isn't that something? So I had to speak on that. And I wanted to show my face when I spoke on that. I think you all got a good perception of what that tweet just said. So I didn't have to keep it up on the screen for you to keep reading it. You all know what time it is. And so that's unfortunate because guess what? I like Ryan Garcia. I did not have him beating Tank Davis. But you know what? Fighters, when they win after the fight too. And some fighters, when they lose, they can also lose after the fight. Ryan Garcia is winning outside of the ring. He got a major paycheck, even though he lost inside the ring. But he won because guess what? He went to the guy that trained champions. Y'all know who he's trained by now, right? Derrick James. Now, I hope Derrick James got enough time to invest because he's got Charlo over there. He's got Spence. He's got Anthony Joshua. Let's see how he's going to designate his time. Let's see how he's going to allocate his time to all four of these great fighters. Bottom line is, Ryan Garcia is still winning. In fact, I believe that De La Hoya owes Ryan Garcia an apology for blasting that man. You were supposed to be a businessman, a professional. You're supposed to make an appeal to young up-and-coming fighters to want to come along and join Golden Boy Promotions as a stable. But who would want to join a promotion company as a fighter if you lose, or if you agree to terms that weren't favorable to you, but you still took a chance on yourself and you lose? The promoter might come out and publicize and air out their discrepancies with you. And the thing that bothers me more than anything else in that tweet is the fact that Oscar De La Hoya did a video himself right after the fight. Y'all remember that? I'm gonna try to see if I can pull that up for y'all. I don't know whose channel it was on, but De La Hoya, he did a it was like himself, like some kind of FaceTime or some kind of recording, and he was like trying to give Ryan Garcia credit. Y'all remember that? I don't know if y'all remember that. I'm gonna try to pull it up if I can. But the thing about it is, you did that about a month or two ago, and now this. And now this. This is how you respond. So which one was real and which one was fake? I would like to believe that the tweet that he typed in was real. The video was kind of fake. That was public relations. You know what I mean? Yeah, he said it. He was talking about how, oh, my security team told me that I was receiving death threats, this, that, and the third, so that's why I left. And Ryan Garcia is a good guy and all this. You're going to come back. And man, that was fake, bro. So I didn't respect that at all. I really, really didn't. And I salute Ryan Garcia and wish Ryan Garcia many more in his career. Now, off of De La Hoya, we have a special segment. I'm going to get right to it tonight. Special segment. I call this segment Nip It in the Bud. You've heard that term before, right? I'm sure any of you in the chat, have you all heard that term? Let's engage right now tonight in the chat. Have you all heard that term, nip it in the bud? Nip it in the bud. Y'all have heard that before? Anybody in the chat? Y'all with me? Come on, stay with me now. We on our appetizer now. We done had bread and water. Yeah, we had bread and water. Mm-hmm. Now it's time to get to some teachable moments here tonight. Now it's time to get to some more entertainment tonight in our segment called Nip It in the Bud. Oh, yes. Gregory Quarterbaum, this is not for you. Terrence Best Videos. Don't know if you're watching live or if you're going to watch the replay of this. This is not for you. Okay? Not for you. We know that you both are avid Terence Bud Crawford fans. We know that. But this is not for you. Rachel Donier in the chat. Salute, Rach. Welcome. This is not for you, you two guys. This is the segment of the show from now on, until further notice, but for now on, could be up until the fight actually happens. Nip It in the Bud, where I allow two special guests, two lucky contestants who are diehard Terence Bud Crawford fans, the opportunity to come in the chat and meet me live in living color so that you can ask me some questions and I can do the same for you. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Nip it in the bud. Oh, it was Nito. Salute to you, Nito. No, Nito. I didn't know that was you, Nito. Salute to you and Rachel. Always a pleasure. Please go subscribe to Beyond the Ring with Nonito and Rachel. They have great content, and we salute them all the way in the Philippines right now. Oh, yes, nip it in the bud. Come on up here, y'all. I just flew the kite in the chat. Y'all know when I say fly the kite, what I mean? Yeah. I'm talking about I sent the link in the chat. Because I've been getting scrutinized heavily and criticized and defamed. And there were some inflammatory remarks about me for the last 7 months, particularly in the last 3 or 4 months, not just on this channel, but on YSM Sports Media's channel and some other content creators' channel when I went on their panel or on their channel. And the comment sections be riddled with a lot of disrespect towards Manager Marty because of the content that I have published on Bud Crawford, which the content I publish is all true, right? But the bottom line is that some people don't like it. And so now I'm going to give a platform, an opportunity. Come on up here now, because I have some questions I want to ask. And we're going to do that. 2 lucky contestants. Okay? Don't all come at once now. Okay? Link is in the chat. I'm about to send it again so I can pin it to the top so we won't have no more excuses. Okay? All right, guys and ladies. Yes, let me find that link so I can pin that thing to the tizot. It's pinned. Yep, it's live now. So the link is pinned to the top of the chat. I just flew the kite out again. Okay. So if you are a Terence Bud Crawford fan, I am not referring to J-Rock, Greg, Quarterbomb, or Terrence Best Videos. Not those 3 guys. Anyone else. And there's a reason why I'm not including those 3 guys who are Bud Crawford fans. Okay? Terrence Best Videos, I already destroyed him on Knockout Boxing 86 TV's channel. We had a debate some months ago. That wasn't even real. I was just playing with him, just for entertainment purposes. I got him out of there. But I think BFTB did him worse than me. But I already showed y'all. Man, listen. I want Terrence Bud Crawford fans, just 2 of you now. The link is pinned to the top of this chat because I have some questions I want to ask you. Okay? Come on up now. Just come on up. See, here's the thing. I gotta show my face for this one because this is. I love this, y'all. I do. Hey, wait a minute. Let me do this first before I talk. You all can feel free to contribute to the channel. The Cash App is sliding right. It's tickering right at the bottom of your screen. And I want to thank you in advance for anyone who chooses to donate and support this channel to enhance the audio and visual quality and even to support the channel for it to continue to grow. Thank you in advance for your support. If someone also, if you can, because I've been having some issues with it. Well, I was going to say it, but it's working, and that is the super chat. Sometimes it be acting up sometimes. But thanks to Toon, he resetted it. Toon, thank you so much for your support and contribution to the channel. As always, Toon, one of my biggest supporters. And Toon says, man, keep spitting the truth. You ain't lied about nothing yet. They rather donate to channels that openly disrespect them and spread false narratives. I totally agree with you, Toon, and I can assure you that at least 90% of the people that are in the chat and even viewing this live agrees with you as well, Toon. So I respect and support you as well. My brother is in the chat, and he said facts after facts. Y'all know when I say my brother, y'all know exactly who I'm talking about. my man, salute family, D-Town Boxing. Well, I want to say this while we're on Bud Crawford. I was notified today. Well, I'm sorry. I was notified yesterday. But I missed the call. Excuse me. I was in several different business meetings and I missed the call. But I actually returned the call today. And a content creator who I would say I'm genuinely cool with, no disrespect to the guy, World Combat Sports, Scotty. He told me he did a video in response to a video that I did on Terence Crawford. He did a video in response to that video the other day, I believe, and it was a target to things that myself and my brother D-Town Boxing said on this channel Monday night, or Monday afternoon, rather. Now, I didn't see what he said about me or D-Town in his live video that he produced. So I don't want to give him all these kudos and do a kumbaya, and then I go listen to it, and then I hear some unfavorable things. So I'm just going to say that me and World Combat Sports, we're cool. You know, never had no issues. Everything is cool. We did have one back and forth thing and everything boxing. We straightened that out as men. Everything is good. That was a while ago. But the thing is, he did a reaction video on me and D-Town Boxing. I'm going to go listen to it. Not right now. I'm going to go listen to it. Okay? Because just as well as people can react to what I say and do, I shouldn't get criticized for reacting what Terence Crawford say and do. But I do anyway, and I love every minute of it. You know, I've learned this in business many years ago, and I also learned this growing up in the arts because I used to, I grew up in the arts of dance and acting and singing and all those great things, right? Since I was a little kid all the way up to now, I haven't acted on stage in a couple of years. But my point is, I've learned something. That controversy creates cash. And if you know Manager Marty, especially if you know me personally, you know that I embrace controversy. I don't like conflict unless there's a resolution attached to it. But when it comes to controversy, oh, yes, 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 yes. And sometimes the cash does not always have to reflect on money. The cash could be publicity, good publicity now. The cash could be notoriety, or the cash could be spotlighting a conflict to draw resolution. And so once again, I say all of that to say that Terence Bud Crawford fans, if you are listening to me, and we have a lot of people that's in this live broadcast right now as I'm talking. I'm looking at the numbers on my end. And I'm going to say that I am sure that we have more than one Terence Bud Crawford fan that's viewing me right now, besides Greg, J-Rock, and I don't know who else. Oh, the guy Michael Sosito, I think he's here too in the chat. I'm sure we have more Terence Bud Crawford fans than none, but this is the segment of the podcast called Nip It in the Bud, where two lucky contestants, or even three, I'll even have three of you come on up. Three Terence Bud Crawford fans, or even two at a minimum, come on up. Salute to you, Omega Red. Come on up, Terence Bud Crawford fans. This segment of my platform is designated for you. Oh, yes. Nip it in the bud. Terence Bud Crawford fans, come on up. It seems like in the chat, everybody got so much to say in the chat, but when the link goes up, nobody's anywhere to be found. People got all this tough talk to say in the comment section about my comments on Crawford. But now when it's time to just come on up and ask Manager Marty a question or make a statement to Manager Marty, you know, like y'all do in the comments section. And then allow me the same respect, right, and courtesy to do the same in return to you. We're here now. Nip it in the bud is designated for Terence Bud Crawford fans that want to come on up live so we can nip it in the bud. Come on up here now. Don't duck and hide. We're here now. Everybody is live waiting for you to come on up. The link is pinned to the chat, and I want to make sure that I'm not misleading the people. Mr. Pragmatic, I can depend on him to do this. Mr. Prag, can you do me a favor, Mr. Prag? Can you confirm with me two things, Mr. Pragmatic? Number one, can you confirm, Mr. Pragmatic, on behalf of the entire chat, that you all can hear me? Mr. Pragmatic, can you hear me? I just want to make sure. I want to do an audio check right now. Mic check 1, 2. Mr. Pragmatic, I know I can depend on him. He's a member of the channel. Okay, great. Thank you, Mr. Prag. Mr. Prag says yes, he can hear me. So, Mr. Prag, since you can hear me, can you confirm if the link is pinned to the chat? Can you confirm that, Mr. Prag? Is the link pinned to the chat? All right. I see somebody in the background. Mr. Band Up, I see you. Stay right there, Mr. Band Up. I'm going to bring you on. Thank you, Mr. Prag. Mr. Prag said he can see the link, and it is pinned to the top. My man. All right, hold on now. 1 second. Thank you so much. Hold up. Somebody just sent me a cash app. I got to acknowledge them. Hold on. Hold on, everybody. Real quick. Real quick. Thank you so much, Edward V, for your contribution and your support to the channel and your cash app. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Salute to you, Edward V. Now, we have a guy named Band Up. Mr. Band Up, you are live on the Road to Tape podcast with Manager Marty. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
My guy, yes, I can hear you. Is this your first time on the panel, Band Up?
No, I've been on here once before. I've been picking up Marty on. I've been picking up on you since day one, brother.
All right, good.
We
okay,
good.
Great.
We good. I ain't a hater.
Oh, that's okay. I welcome haters too on this channel. I appreciate it. So let me ask you a question. We got Taco in the background. I'm going to allow him to join, but I want to talk to you first. Are you a Terence Bud Crawford fan?
100%.
All right. I am here now. You are here, Band Up. I will let you go first. Speak on it, my brother.
Well, I got two questions for you know what I mean, for you guys going against my guy Bud.
All
two
right.
things. I've been hearing even from Blue. I've been hearing from AM. I've been hearing from who was it? Monty Brown. And I want to know how you feel. Do you feel, one, that Kell Brook was successful at landing his left hand against Terence Crawford?
I want to make sure that I'm hearing this correctly. Do I feel or do I believe that?
Do you believe?
Okay, do I believe that Kell Brook was successful with landing his left punch against Crawford?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to say this. I'm not sure if it was the left or the right, but I do recall Kell Brook out jabbing Crawford in the first couple of rounds, and he actually was winning the fight in the first 2 to 3 rounds, and he looked pretty successful. I don't know if it was the right or the left, but he was landing a few shots on Crawford. I mean, that's what I do remember.
All right, and I'm all right. So my thing is, I've heard people say that he was getting hit with they were sounding to say he was getting hit in the orthodox stance. Kell Brook is southpaw and Kell Brook was landing his left. That's what everybody was trying to say. And Bud Crawford had issue in the orthodox stance. My bounce back is to that. And the first question leads into the second one. My bounce back is to that is I went back and I watched the fight. I did my homework. Through 3 rounds, Terence Crawford was landing 25 punches out of 93 about 93 shots. He landed 25 of them, right? Kell Brook had only landed 24 out of 99. You know what I mean? Threw 6 more and landed 1 less. During that time, Terence Crawford stayed in orthodox, starting the fight all the way into the 31st second of the second round. Second round going away, you know what I mean? 31st second, he switches, right? Continues the whole third round with that southpaw stance. Fourth round gets the knockout. They say it was at 157, right? He hits him a little bit before that, but they say it's at 157. So my man's had spent more time in the orthodox stance, number one. And I feel that it's like playing possum. I feel like that IQ of him playing possum and saying, okay, I'm going to figure out where this guy's going to throw at. Okay, I'm Kell Brook. He's going to figure out where he's going to throw at. And once Kell Brook kept throwing, he looked for something, and that's when he caught him with that snap punch, which put him out. That leads into my second question. I've heard a lot of talk, and they say Errol Spence wears people down. Okay, if I'm Terence Crawford, I already know what everybody's saying. I know everybody's saying this guy's gonna wear me down. We're gonna see what it's saying, what's going at the end, and if I can last. What if my bounce back is to that? What if Earl ain't landed those shots in the beginning? What if he ain't wearing Terence Crawford down and Terence is bouncing around late in these rounds, and he's gonna have to deal with the smarts? Because if I'm Terence, I'm already knowing what the narrative is. There's a few narratives. That's why this is a good fight. There's a few narratives, but I hear the overlinking narrative is that I'm just not going to have the IQ for it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to have the IQ for this guy to come in and try to wear me down.
Before I get there, band up, I don't know if it's my device or yours. There's a lot of static. Can you hear that static? Or that's just on
I can hear the static. I can hear is that when we both talk? Or yeah, I hear it a little bit.
I actually put my microphone on mute and it's still there. I'm not sure if it's my device or yours.
Yeah, it still does that. Yeah, it's still doing it.
Okay,
even when I put my mic on mute.
Put your microphone on mute and let's see and start talking. Let's see if it's me. All right, you can unmute it. So I don't know if it's me because it wasn't doing this the whole time. But
you want me to get out and get back in and see what happens?
Yeah, see if you can get out and come right back on.
I got you.
I hope that's not me. Hope that's not me. But we're going to get it. We're going to get it together today. People said they hear it when I talk. Okay, so it's probably me. All right, so it's me. I had my phone on mute, and it still was. That's crazy. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it together. All right. So everybody in the chat is saying it's me, but it's crazy because I'm talking now and I don't hear it. Okay, so it's me. It's not him. Okay. We're gonna try to get this situated. If you're just joining us live, this is our segment known as the Nip It in the Bud segment, where we'll have 2 or 3 Terence Crawford fans come on to the live broadcast as guests to be able to have a dialogue with me personally, and hopefully we can exchange dialogue and even questions for one another so that we can quote unquote nip it in the bud, which is the saying. We got Band Up back on. We were having some technical difficulties. I think it was me because everybody in the chat was saying it was me that my phone was acting up. But your second question, can you try to make that second point again so you can segue into that your
My
question?
second point is is what I'm saying as far as Bud's IQ. If Terrence Bud Crawford, right, knowing, listening to one of the narratives, and the strongest narrative out here is that Errol Spence is going to hit him to the body, you know what I mean? Or, you know what I mean, hit him to the face, whatever it needs to do to slow him down. What if that's not the case leading into the fight? What if that's not the case leading into the late rounds and Bud gets away from him? And you got a fresh Bud at the end of the rounds, you know what I mean? Whether it's 7, 8, 9, 10 through 12, you know what I mean? Or whatever the case may be, you got a fresh Bud, and Earl got to see that fresh Bud late.
I mean, I don't know. We'll just have to see. That would be interesting, and I won't totally deny the fact that Crawford, you know, may not be able to be durable in the later rounds because both of these guys have great conditioning. And you know, one of the things I try to stay away from, especially on this channel, is I try to stay away from, you know, hypotheticals. You know what I mean? Like, all right, so what if this happened and this don't happen? I try to stay away from that because that can all be opinionated because we haven't never seen it happen. You know, but since you brought up Kell Brook, let me ask you a question about him. What was the incentive, in your opinion, as a Crawford fan? What was the incentive for Crawford to fight Kell Brook?
My thing about that is if you gonna fight Kell Brook, you got it's like timing. I mean, Earl already took the man's belt, right? Could you get anybody else from the PBC side to really rock with you like that? Was it easier for Al to make the fight for Kell Brook than it is other fighters? If they, you know what I mean, if we got on the PBC side of it, looking at it, if we could make the fight going, you know what I mean, going the other way to show we still have some type of business, you know what I mean, going with the other side, and we're not really losing nothing with Kell Brook, we can do that. And at the same time, Bud kind of gets what he wants. Look what Errol did to him, and look what I did to him. That's kind of what he pointed to back in the backstage. That's before Bud fought Sean Porter, so that kind of makes it seem even more legit. That when Bud said, you know what I mean, he's like, look at everybody you did to him, and look what I did to him. Look what you did. You know, he was going back and forth when they was arguing in the back of the hallway. That's what Bud said straight up. So I think Bud wanted to push that. You know what I mean? Yeah, okay. Look what Earl did to him. Let me see if I can really go for the knockout. Bud say he ain't go. You know what I mean? If the knockout's there, he's gonna take it. Man, you seen how he punched Kell Brook? He was going for the knockout.
Okay.
That's my
So
thing. That's what I feel.
I got you. So you're saying that Kell Brook was with PBC when he fought Crawford?
If I'm not mistaken, is that correct? If I could be wrong on that.
Okay.
I'm not 1,000% for sure, but I think so. I would think so. He was on PBC at the time.
I don't recall. I don't recall Kell Brook being with PBC. I could be wrong. I know Sean Porter, of course, was with PBC, and I think you already know that part. I don't think Kell Brook was with PBC at that time at all. But so you're basically saying that there was no incentive for Crawford to fight Kell Brook. In other words, is he didn't get anything in return beneficial to him besides a win.
I mean, you get a name on that book. You definitely get a name on your book. Whether he's like, it's kind of like, you know what I mean? It's the nitpick. It's the nitpick when they talk about the greats. Mayweather could say he's the greatest and why, and he's going to try to break it down. Oh, I fought more world champions after they were world champions, not before they got the belt. You know how he tries to use that? So that could be, oh, I fought a Kell Brook after he already won a championship. He already had, what, 1 or 2 losses on his record at the time?
Okay. Let me get these super chats real quick, and I got you. So, my guy, Toon, thank you for your contribution and your support to the channel. Toon says, Bud ain't going to hop around for 12 rounds. Spence will catch up to him. He's going to break down Crawford Oh, he's going to break him down. Crawford is too small for Errol, and Bud been rocked by smaller guys. That was from my guy Tune. We also got my guy, Day One supporter. Always a pleasure to see him in the chat. Aaron H. Muhammad. Salute, Aaron. Thank you for your contribution. Aaron says a little support for the channel and an invitation for Bud fans to engage. We won't use anything but facts. No hate for Bud. Hey, Aaron, thank you so much. I've been saying that for the last 7 months. Hopefully, they hear you say it and they agree with you because that is the absolute truth. Pod Cash, thank you for your contribution and your support to the channel. Pod Cash, he quoted the word manager, so that tells me he's being a little facetious, and that's okay. Manager Marty, I have a challenge for you. Make some content without using Bud's name. That was from Pod Cash. Thank you for your contribution as well, Pod Cash. And my homegirl, Dion, always a pleasure. Thank you for your support and contribution to the channel, Dion. And Dion says, it may or may not be easy for Crawford or ESG. Thank you so much, Dion, for your feedback. Quick question, Band Up. Do you have another device playing YouTube in the background?
I got it on mute. I can turn it all the way off. You want me to?
Yeah, because I hear the feedback. I can
All
actually
right.
hear it
Let me,
on the feedback.
let me turn that off. I turn the whole PlayStation off. And I got my kids playing out back. Let me close the back door. And I got these airplanes. I live in Seattle, Brian, right by the SeaTac airport. So all this airplanes flying by.
I got you. So okay. So you were basically saying that that Kyle Brook should be added on Crawford's resume because he was a former world champion, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. He was a former world champion, so his name should be added onto. So let me ask you this: do you know if Bud Crawford actually pointed uh, Kell Brook out to fight him? Because you had said that, well, you know, he wanted to prove that he dominated Kell Brook better than Spence did years before that when they fought. So do you think that Crawford actually handpicked Kell Brook to fight him?
I wouldn't say he handpicked his bud. It's just said many times itself. You know what I mean? Let the fight hit the table. Let the you know what I mean, send the contracts. So I don't really think Bud's a person that really go out looking for, you know what I mean, too much. You know what I mean? But he also always says he ain't turning nothing down. I think this Earl thing and the Charlo thing is a little bit different because, you know, he got a little bit, I wouldn't beef or social media or however you want to say, you know what I mean? He got a little bit of vendetta against them, or, you know what I mean, some type of grudge or urge or whatever it could be against either one of them. But I think that's a little different from calling out, from like going out somebody, because he could say the same thing about, he could be like Boots, you know what I mean? Like, I could be calling you out, but yet Boots is the younger fighter, you know what I mean? And I don't really think he feels like he needs it. And he always says he don't need it. He don't need it. Even like last year, he was saying he didn't need the Earl fight. You know what I mean? So I don't think he would like search for anything. He didn't call Sean Porter out. You know what I mean? He was just, you know what I mean? He was just a guy that's ranked high. You know what I mean? They was cool at first. You know, they both said they didn't really want to stand in, you know what I mean? Stand in the ring with each other. But hey, the money talks and they're gonna have to get it on.
Right.
So I don't really feel like Bud's one of those, hey, I'm going to look for you and this is what it is. But if that's right there, why not increase what you know what I mean? The trash talk, you know what I mean? Why not increase what I got to say? You know what I mean? Look what you did and look what I did. It's like something that's not going to really, it could show up on the stat sheet or not. It could because it's a great name. It couldn't because he ain't a champion. Either way it goes, they're going to look at Kell Brook. They're going to try to use it as a measuring stick, but I'm going to make my measuring stick be different than yours.
I got you. So, Band Up, I noticed something that you've done in the last few seconds that you were talking. You kept giving hypotheticals. This can mean this, if this, but you haven't really gave us any concrete
No,
evidence. And most,
so straight. No, I don't think he would probably purposely pointed out
I
reading to the
got you.
list Kell Brook.
Thank you
I
for
give you a
being
straight
honest.
answer,
Yep. Thank
but
you.
it's just more of a, what are we seeing from this guy?
Right. So the truth of the matter is, that Terence Crawford didn't go and point them out. The matchmaker, Brad Goodman, over at Top Rank, he pointed them out. And I already proved on Tuesday night, excuse me, I think it was Monday, on this podcast, whether it was Monday or Tuesday, I think it was maybe Tuesday. Anyway, how the record of Kell Brook and Amir Khan was parallel to each other. It was similar in regards to them both moving up in weight to get knocked out at like by Triple G and by Canelo, and then they fought somebody else and they went on a 2-year hiatus. Then they came back and fought 1 or 2 times, and then they fought Bud. That was done intentionally so that Bud Crawford can look good. Would you agree that Terence Bud Crawford's resume is a little mediocre as far as competition is concerned?
At welterweight.
At welterweight. That's what I mean, at welterweight.
Just at welterweight, yeah.
Yeah, no. We ain't talking about no, because he's the WBO champion in one division, welterweight. So no other division, just welterweight. You believe that his resume is mediocre based on the competition,
I don't
right?
think it's I don't think it's mediocre. I do think Earl's is better than his. I don't think his is mediocre though, to say least.
Right, but okay, so on a scale from 1 to 10, how would you grade Terence Bud Crawford's resume in the welterweight division?
I'd say probably at a 7 or 8.
Based on competition?
Yes, based on what competition and who's in the ranking. I don't know why my phone is doing that. My phone, can I leave out and come right back in? My phone is putting me through the top, not the bottom.
That's all right.
I'm coming right back. I'm coming right back.
Oh yes, come on back.
I ain't gonna run. Oh, trust me, I'm here.
Oh yes. So we see Band Up giving hypotheticals of this can mean this can, if, I, ooh, I. We want facts on this channel. That's what we deal with here. We deal with facts. We don't deal with what can possibly happen. Or what can possibly happen if something else don't happen. Or if this happens, then we don't do that. We deal with the facts at hand. Okay? Now, let me get these 2 super chats because the super chats are popping right now. Feel free to contribute to the channel, y'all. It doesn't get no softer than this. The air fryer is cooking up. If you can see and hear my demeanor, y'all know the air fryer is frying up. I need 1 or 2 more Terence Bud Crawford fans. The link is in the chat. Come on down. We got Band Up that came. You know what I mean? He's here. Let me get these super chats. I'm designating an entire segment. Now, we're going to get on to the main event of this podcast, but I just want to make sure that we are all clear. Oh, yes. I'm designating this an entire segment. It's going to be brief. You know, it's nothing long. Called Nip It in the Bud. Oh, yes. All of the Bud fans. Come on down. Yes. All right. Now we got my guy, Jay Cooley. Thank you for your contribution to the channel. Salute. Jay Cooley says, I see Bud fans getting soft because the fight is here. Y'all said Errol been ducking for years. Now it's time to eat #big fish. And then Real Spill Midwest Boxing Talk. Thank you for your contribution and your support to the channel. Real Spill says, Bud fans can always tell you why he did or said something or what he was thinking. Why not hold the man accountable and stop making excuses for him? That was from Real Spill. Thank you for your contribution and your support to the channel. We also have Band Up. Band Up is back. Band Up is back. And we also have, hold on, I think Cash. Hey, Cash, you're in the background. Do me a favor, Cash. Turn your camera on so I can make sure and verify that you are not a troll, that you are really who you say you are, that there's a live human behind you. And I promise you, I will let you on to the broadcast. But until you do that, I'm going to get down to Band Up, and we're going to finish our brief discussion. So, Cash, turn your camera on so I can confirm, that you are who you are, and I definitely will let you jump on. Quick question, Band Up. We glad that you didn't run. We give you
credit I wasn't
for that.
going nowhere.
You came, and you kept your word like a man. Now, speaking of keeping the word, You seem like you're an honest guy, and you said you're a Bud Crawford fan. Did Bud Crawford ever say one lie in the last 6 months publicly?
That's a lot of interviews. You want me to go through all of them? But
Uh,
I don't.
just give
I'm
me
like,
three. I
I'm
mean,
like,
just
I'm like,
three.
I can say, I can see her say no. I can see her say yeah, but you gonna point out to this conference or that. I don't remember every word, but I haven't heard any cat from him.
Well, you are a fan of his, so that's why
Yeah,
I'm
I haven't heard.
asking.
Yeah, and I haven't heard any cat.
You never heard?
I haven't heard any cat, but you can bring it to me. Come on.
Okay. Did you see his last interview he did, Million Dollar Worth of Game?
Yep, I
You
watched
heard
that
what he
one.
was good. You heard what he was talking about other side of the street, right? You heard
Yeah,
that? Oh, okay, gotcha. And he said that they started that because of him. Then he got caught lying because he's the one that did start that. You don't remember none of that?
yeah, I remember him saying that.
So you don't think he was lying when he said that?
I'm not too familiar on. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm not too familiar. I'm not a historian of the boxing game, so I don't know who said what. I don't know if he
All
was
right.
lying on that or not. So there was no way for me to speak on that. I'll tell you the truth. I've
All
just
right, I
started
got
watching boxing no longer than 6 years ago.
you. Okay, I appreciate that. So you said that Terrence Bud Crawford's resume is an 8 on a scale of 1 to 10 for you.
Yeah, I would. I wouldn't say. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's trash.
You would say it's an 8 though. You said 8.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. What was your reaction when you heard that he was going to fight David Evanesia?
I was on. Actually, I was on manager. I was on Monty Brown's when he broke that news, and I was like, who?
Didn't know who he was?
No, because I don't know. I don't know everybody in boxing. I don't know everybody.
Oh, okay. But you knew that he was fighting David Evanesia. You just knew that. You didn't know who David Evanesia
Yeah,
was.
yeah. And when I hear some names, I go look at what they do on YouTube, and I go, you know what I mean, search my stuff up.
Would you say that he was a credible opponent for Terence Crawford?
He ranked for a reason.
Oh, okay. He's ranked. What was his ranking when Terence
Number
Crawford?
6.
Hmm.
Number 6, if I'm
In the
not
W,
mistaken, right? Number 6.
number 6 in the WBO.
Yeah. If he
Okay.
wasn't, yeah, wasn't he number 6?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
You was cool with him fighting him though, right? You was cool with that because he was ranked number 6. You was okay with that.
I mean, we gotta. I mean, who? I
It's just
mean,
it's just a
yeah,
yes or
yeah. I'm
no,
okay.
band
Yeah, I'm
up.
okay
We don't
with it.
have to
Yeah, I'm
go out
okay
there
with it.
for it.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, I'm okay with it. Anybody that's
Stop.
ranked anybody that's ranked in the top 5, top 6, top 10, yeah, you got a number by your name, you can get in the ring.
All right, well, hold on. You got to clarify. You said top 5, top 10, top. You got to choose one. What, top
Top
5 or
10.
top
And
10?
if you in the top 10, you should be able to fight whoever.
You should be fine. Okay. So I had a question for you. So Jerron Boots Ennis was ranked number 2 in the WBO. Why didn't you press for Crawford to fight him? He was ranked higher than David Evanesia.
Yeah, you could say that. You could say he
No,
could have pressed for Juwan in it.
that's not me just saying it.
You
That's
could
a
say
fact.
you could say he could have pressed for Juwan in it, and so could have Earl.
No. We're gonna get to Earl, but I want to get to see you a fan of
Oh
Crawford.
yeah, yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm
He didn't
yeah, you a
because
fan of
hey, look.
Crawford.
So all
So I'm
right. So
asking you
I'm gonna tell
about
you straight
Crawford.
up. I'm gonna tell you straight up. Hey, as a fighter, I know I can beat this dude, right? I know I could beat him. If I'm Terence Crawford, I know I could beat you. But at the same time, you could what fracture this or fracture that, and I'm still trying to make the same fight for Earl. So say he does go fight him, and say he does get a broken bone, but he still knocks Jerron Boots in his out. We don't got this fight today.
But you're still giving hypotheticals again,
I'm
Bando.
not. I'm
You're
I'm telling you
saying
straight up.
if
If
that,
I'm Bud and I choose Boots Ennis, if I'm
but
Bud and I choose Boots Ennis and I get a broken rib, why the
bro,
hell would I go through that if I'm trying to make the biggest fight? If I'm trying to make the biggest fight and biggest payday in boxing, and I'm
but
not trying to prolong my career. See,
but
this is
Bando,
this is what I
you're
don't think you
giving
guys.
Bando.
I
Hold
don't
on,
think everybody understands. Like, well, Bud's saying he's
hold
not
on,
trying to
Bando,
fight for that. Yeah,
Bando. Here's the issue that people have with Crawford fans. Y'all keep trying to interpret what Bud Crawford means when he says this or when he does this. We can only go by what he said and what he did with his actions. His actions
I don't think
for a
Earl Spence
number. Let me
fans
finish, Band
believe
Up. I
two
got you.
things to
Let me
be
finish.
true.
Let me finish. His actions allowed him to fight a guy who was number 6 on the WBO rankings when the guy was already agreeing to fight on November the 19th in another country. That's a fact.
Agreeing or agreed?
No, he agreed. He signed the contract.
Straight
David
up.
Ebenezer
Everything was
did.
legit.
Everything was legit, right? You agree with that. The guy was ranked number 6, and the guy was already in a contractual obligation and agreement to fight on November the 19th, literally 2.5 weeks before he fought Crawford. I asked you about Boots and him fighting a guy who was ranked number 2 in the WBO, since you said anyone ranked in the top 10 is solid, right? So my question
Should
to
be
you
solid.
was, why didn't Crawford fight Boots Ennis when he was ranked number 2 in the WBO?
And my answer to you was Marty, straight up. My opinion on why Bud did not choose Boots is because Bud had the mindset of,
How do
if
you
I
know?
go in,
How do you know? How do you know that he had that
is that
mindset? Give
not
us some evidence.
is that not common sense at this point?
Mm-mm,
It's not
it's
common
not.
sense.
No.
See, that's the thing
You're
about it.
assuming.
I don't think
You're
Spence fans
assuming.
believe. I don't think Spence fans believe two things can be true, and that is the case. Two things can be true, Marty. Not one thing means just one thing.
I'm not here to talk about two things to be true. I'm only asking for one thing to be true,
It's
and
what
that
you
is, why
choose,
didn't he fight
and
uh,
and
Boots?
that's what you choose to go with.
Huh?
If I choose to go with logic and health and money over opportunity versus somebody that's not even gonna mean nothing. If I'm gonna fight somebody that don't mean nothing anyway, why would I go with a harder opponent?
So you saying he ducked Boots because Boots was a
I
hard
don't think he ducked
competition?
him. I don't think he ducked him. If Boots doesn't have no obligation or no what's it called? What do they call it? No mandatory to fight me. How am I ducking him?
David Ebenezer had mandatory to fight him.
No, but how am I ducking him from picking somebody else?
You said if Boots didn't have a mandatory to fight Crawford, but David
Yes.
Ebenezer didn't have one, and you said you was cool with him
Neither one,
fighting.
neither one, hey, and neither one had him, and I still chose the better opponent because like he said, I believe it. I believe Bud wanted to tune up. I do. I straight up will tell you that I believe, because it's been a year since he's been out the ring, so I believe he
So
wanted to fight.
got you. So David Ebenezer was a tune-up in your mind.
Yeah, he can get his ass. Yeah, anybody.
Okay.
It looked like if Spence would have fought him, he would have gave him the business.
No, no,
If
no, no,
Boots would have
no.
fought him, he would have gave him the
I'm not.
business.
I'm not asking about Spence. I'm talking about David Ebenezer. You use the
Against
word
any of the top fighters
tune-up.
is the tune-up. Against any of those top fighters is a tune-up.
So
Against any of the top three is a
great,
tune-up.
great. So you said two things can be true at the same time. You said that.
Yes.
So I have a question for you. If that's the case, how can you then say that David Ebenezer was a tune-up in Crawford's last fight, but you can also equally say at the same time that his resume was ranked at a number 8 out of 1 through 10? How can you say that?
Because it's a stay busy. Has a fighter's not ever stayed busy before?
I didn't ask you about fighters
That's
staying
why.
busy.
That's why I
I'm
say it,
I'm
because it's a stay
I'm
busy.
I'm asking you. You said that Crawford's resume on a scale of 1 to 10 is an 8, but you agreed that he fought a tune-up, and you agreed that the other level of competition wasn't that good. So how can you rank him as an 8 at the same time?
What does Boots Ennis have that, what's it called, that
I
Ebenezer don't
asked
got?
you a
That's what I don't.
question. Band up.
I'm giving it to you. I'm giving it to you. What does Boots Ennis have that Ebenezer he doesn't?
Band up.
What?
Hold up. Let's do this right. I
Because it's
asked
the
you a
same
question.
thing. It's the same
Band up. Hold
thing.
on. Band
Because
up.
if I say yes, you're gonna be
Band
like, well,
up.
that means
Band up.
that. It's the same
Band up.
thing.
Band up. Hold on. We're not going to talk over each other. Hold on. I asked you a question, and you're asking me about Boots. I want you to answer the question. Don't ask me a question when I
How am I
ask you a
saying this?
question.
How am I saying it's a great? Because fighters are allowed to take tune-ups if you need a tune-up. If it's nobody else really out there, I'm looking around. Nobody out here. What's going on?
In the beginning of this,
We're giving Boots. You guys are giving Boots respect off of just a glamour of what you see.
I never said nothing about Boots. The name of this segment is called Nip It in the Bud. This segment is about Bud. I'm asking you because you're a Crawford fan, so I'm asking you
Yeah.
about Crawford. So I'm asking you about his level of competition. In the beginning of this segment, before you went off, and I can roll the tape back,
Oh
you
yeah.
said you said that Crawford's level of competition in on his resume was not that good, and you clarified it by saying in the welterweight division. Didn't you say that?
Yeah, that's the first thing I said, in the welterweight division.
Thank you. So if two things can be true at the same time as you say, how can you first say that his level of competition that he fought was mediocre and suspect in the welterweight division, and then at the same time say that you rank him a number 8 between a 1 and a 10 on resumes?
Because fighting one fighter does not make everything else you've done go down.
But you didn't say one fighter. I asked
That's
you
my
about his
reason, though. That's
resume.
fighting. Just because you fight Avanesian doesn't is supposed to mean
No,
you can poo-poo
listen,
the rest.
band up. Before I mentioned the word Ebenezer, you got on the platform, and the first thing that you said, thank you for admitting it, was Terence Crawford's resume was mediocre. I didn't say anything about one fighter. Resume means every fighter that he competed against in the welterweight division. And you clarified it by saying, in the welterweight division, right? In the welterweight division. And I said, yes. So we agreed, right? Now you're saying something different by saying that you rank his resume as an 8 on a scale of 1 to 10. You can't have it both ways. It's either his resume is not good in the welterweight division, like you said in the beginning, or it's not.
An 8 is still an 8 to me. I'm not moving off my 8 point, whether I said in the
No
beginning
problem.
or I'm keeping it straight up. I still think his resume is good. It's decent. It's not the best. He don't got everybody lined up. He don't got all that stuff lined up. He don't got every fight is a title fight. So it's not a 10 out of 10. It's not a 9 out of 9. It's not a 9 out of 9 simply because he didn't pick Boots. It would have been a 9 out of 9 if he picked Boots. But
Why he ain't pick him?
huh?
Why he ain't pick him? That's my
Because
question.
I gave you that, Marty. You remember what I said? I wrote a tape. Because if you going in there and probably gonna get your ribs broke and still knock them out, what's the point of going in there when you could go in there and knock this dude out, get this money, and go fight the man?
You keep saying if though. We're not talking hypotheticals. We need
That's the
evidence.
reason. That's the reason.
What's
That's the reason. You don't like to hear it, but that's the reason. He chose an easier opponent.
You didn't answer the question, Banda. You keep saying if. Just tell me why he skipped over Boots, who was ranked number 2. That's all I'm asking.
Because there's no difference between Boots and Avanesian.
There's no difference?
What's the difference? Besides the eye test, what's the difference? Do any of them have a belt for him? No. Is he going to gain anything by him? Because Boots don't got a huge name like that. Neither does Avanesian. Boots probably got a little bit bigger than Avanesian.
So Crawford's not going to gain nothing from fighting Boots.
Exactly.
All right. And that's what I'm glad you said, because in the beginning of this segment,
neither one of them you would have gained any from.
Stand up. Let me finish, brother. I asked you, what did Crawford get out of fighting Kell Brook? He didn't get a belt for beating him. I asked the last Crawford fans, what did he get from fighting Amir Khan? He didn't get a belt from him either. Stop, hold on. What did he get from fighting Sean Porter? He didn't get a belt then either. What did he gain from fighting David Ebenezer? He didn't get a belt then. So you can't use that for Boots and say, well, he wasn't going to get no incentive for fighting Boots. But then you agreed that his resume was an 8 if he ain't getting nothing else from the other guys I just named.
Bro, what? Marty. So you mean to tell you sitting here telling me because he didn't get them
contradicting yourself, Banda.
No. I got you, Marty. I got you. So you mean to tell me you gonna give him respect for fighting Boots, or are you gonna hit him with the same thing you hit him with Kell Brook on, and Amir Khan and Avanesian and Sean Porter? You giving him the same? You giving him the same?
You guys never cease to amaze me.
I'm asking you, are you gonna treat him the same?
You guys never. This is what I'm saying. You're going to sit here, contradict yourself in front of thousands of people that's watching over Crawford? Come on, bro. You got to stand on integrity, bro. You can't say the guy's resume is a 8, ranked number 8 out of a 1 to 10, and then in the beginning before that say,
Marty, why do you put it down?
The guys in the welterweight division was mediocre.
Marty, why do you put it down? Why do you put his resume down?
I don't have to put his resume down. The matchmakers did a great job. The matchmakers did a great job. Top Rank Boxing Promotions did a great job with Terence Crawford's career. They matched him with the right opponents, which was lower level competition. That's facts. That's not an opinion. Even you agreed with me in the beginning, but now I start peppering you with these hot questions in the air fryer, And now you start contradicting
Nah,
yourself, bro.
you don't like that two things can be true and the man moves smart.
I never said that. I don't know what channel you talking about, but I speak facts on this channel. I don't do all that too. Yeah, I don't know who.
Nah,
I'm doing
because
straight facts here.
I don't, Marty. What is the difference between Avanesian and Boots? Just tell me
You
that.
tell
What's the
me.
difference? What's
You
the
tell
difference?
me. You brought their names up.
What's the
I didn't
difference?
bring
So
Booth's name up. You did. You tell me what's the
that's
difference between
funny.
him and Definitely.
No, you guys like to paint a narrative and point and will literally point and look one way. Yet there'll be a whole picture, but you guys will look one way and it says this is the case because
That's what you're
there's
doing
no
right now,
difference
Banda.
between Avanesian and Boots, and you guys want to get on Bud Crawford for staying busy
All right, okay,
and
I'll
fighting
answer your question.
Avanesian.
Okay, I'll answer your question. You ready for this, Banda?
What's the difference?
I'm gonna tell you. Very simple. You ready for this? David Evanesian was ranked number 6 and Boots was ranked number 2. That's the difference. I got to go. I got to
That
go,
man was
Banda.
crazy.
That was the difference, bro. I answered your question. Got to go. Cash, you there?
Yo, what's poppin'?
What's going on, Cash?
How you doing, my man?
I'm doing great. Let me get these super chats real quick, though. My family in the building. D-Town Boxing, what it do? My brother. Thank you for your support, D. He says, Crawford fans always talking about what if. Totally agree with that. Who else we got in here? My guy, Toon. He's back again with the contribution. Thank you for your support. Salute to you again, Toon. Toon says, the hypocrisy. Now, as long as you rank, you can fight Rolly, Cruz, Barrios, Ryan, all ranked, but people still to this day claim that Tank ain't fought nobody. Greg Quarterbomb, thank you for your contribution and your support to the channel. Manager Marty, why are you not talking about the upcoming fight? What was all said for the last year means nothing now. Now, this is another example of how some fans believe your podcast is anti-Crawford. Thank you for your contribution and your support, Mr. Greg. Dion, thank you for your contribution and your support again. Evanesian was a cherry pick and bad for a resume. Greg Quarterbomb, thank you and salute to you again. Says Boots is signed to Showtime and was not going to happen. Toon again, thank you. Excuse me. Toon says Bud resume is a 6 at best. Come on, man. Boots was number 2. And that was from my guy, Toon. Thank you to everybody who contributed to the channel. Thank you very, very much. Let me clear some of this out. While I'm doing that, Cash, you are here, live and living color. What's going on with you, man?
Oh, nothing, man. I'm just tuning in. I tap into your lives here and there. You know, I come across the Bud hate. I gotta support my guy. I want to be clear. I'm a boxing fan. I'm not just a Bud fan. So
Okay,
I don't want to be lumped in with the Bud fans because I don't make.
Okay, I got you. But hold on for a minute. Did you say Bud hate? I thought I heard you.
Yeah, I mean, I
Okay,
got a guy who sends me a lot of your content, and I gotta be real, man. Like 80% of your content is Bud hate or criticism.
I thank you for your viewership, Cash. How did you know that?
I'm a fan of boxing. I support everybody.
I
I
know,
just
but
told you.
how did you? Right, I know, but
I
I'm
got
asking
a
you.
guy, a good friend of mine. We both follow boxing, and he sends me a lot of your content.
Okay, so you won't answer the question. I'll answer it for you. So you know that because you saw some of my content about
And
Bud.
I've tapped in a few of your lives, and I've seen you criticize Bud a lot.
Yeah.
Like you said, I think in one of your lives you said this is not a 50-50 fight. Now that is just blasphemy.
Okay.
That is crazy.
So let me ask you a question. Why do you have an issue if I criticize Crawford?
I
Why do
don't
you
have
have
an issue. I don't have an issue. It's just dialogue. It's not an issue.
Okay.
It don't
No, you
bother
use
me
the
in no
word.
way.
Okay, I got you. You
Yeah.
use the word criticize. So that's why criticize, the way you use criticize, it wasn't in a constructive form. See, the criticism that I do for Crawford or anybody else
It's just
is,
Crawford.
no, it's not. It's constructive. So hold on for 1 second. It's constructive, but the way you presented it had a negative connotation to it. So I'm glad you said it was just Bud. I have a question for you, Cash. Since you said it don't bother you, but you are quickly pointing out that I do it to him. Do you have this same energy when Bud Crawford do it to other fighters? The criticism part?
Nah.
You
Because
don't.
it's not
You don't.
I feel like you built a channel off of Bud
I
Crawford's
know. Wait, hold
criticism.
up. So you answered the
That's the
question. Hold on.
difference.
Oh, I got you. You said you don't. Let's unpack that. So I didn't ask you how you felt about it. You said that you don't feel no type of way, or you don't have the same energy when Crawford criticized Danny Garcia, when he criticized Spence, when he criticized Porter, when he criticized Kell Brook. You don't have an issue with that. That's criticism is acceptable. But if I criticize the same guy that's criticizing them, I'm a bud hater. Where they do that at? Do the math for me, bro.
It is what it is. Both. I think both are corny. Just being honest.
But you didn't speak up on that. You spoke up it
Because
about me.
you can't look, Marty. You're a very intelligent man. I watch you. You are
So are
very
you.
brilliant. You are
So are
brilliant.
you.
I know what
So are
you do.
you.
I want you to understand. I know what you do. You slick. You got to be clear. When Bud does, he's a boxer. They ask him questions, he answers. You have built a
I'm a
platform on
content creator,
criticizing.
right?
Ain't no wrong, and I get it. That's what I'm saying. I
Oh,
get it.
okay.
I'm just saying,
So
let's not act delusional. You've built a channel off of Bud
no,
Crawford's
that's
name,
your opinion.
and it's a
That's
fact
your
too.
opinion.
I go there.
No,
Hey, I'm being
that's
honest
your
with you.
opinion.
My guy sent me your videos. Out of 100 videos, 80 of them were titled Bud Crawford.
You
His name is in
counted?
80 of them.
You counted 80 out of
I did.
100?
I'm be honest. I didn't. My friend did. I'm honest. I'm being honest.
Ooh, you know what that means, right? If somebody's counting how many videos out of 100, oh, that means that that person likes the channel. That means
Definitely.
that that
Hey,
person supports the channel.
I support you. I just gave you a super chat about 10 minutes ago, but I'm just saying, let's not act like we don't know what you're doing. I want to be clear. I see through the bullshit. That's all.
No,
Do
no,
your thing.
you're
Do your
entitled to your
thing.
opinion, and I salute you.
But we
But
know what you're doing, though.
here's the great thing about it. Did you hear any of my interviews on YSM Sports Media?
Nah.
You
I probably
never.
like one, maybe one, and it
Oh,
was
you
breaking
did see it.
down.
Okay.
Maybe
What?
one, and it was breaking down. It was during the negotiations, and you were saying how Bud should basically sign with Showtime, I believe, or something along
I
those lines.
did. Okay, I did say that. You heard me say that, right?
That's the one. That's the one interview I've seen
You did see that.
by you.
Let me.
That's how I was able to remember your face.
All right, let me put my glasses on. I want to ask you this question real quick, Cash, because you sound you intelligent too, Cash.
I'm
And
alright.
let me put these on Cash. You just said
That's the guy I saw. That's who I saw.
me right here.
Yeah, with the
Oh
glasses.
yeah. You just said that you saw my interview when I said on YSM that Crawford should sign with PBC and Showtime. That's
Yes,
the interview you're talking about, right?
I believe so. Yes.
Great. Let me ask you a question. Did Terence Crawford sign a 2-fight deal with PBC and Showtime?
Yes.
Okay, then. So what the problem be?
Ain't no problem with that. You want
Well,
credit for that?
you said I built my
But I'm
channel
saying you
off of
want credit for that.
Hey Cash. Hold on for a minute, Cash. You said I built my channel off of the same guy that did something that I said he should have done last
So,
summer.
are you taking credit for that? Because I think anybody with common sense would think that would be the best thing for Crawford to do.
If it was the best thing for Crawford and it was common sense, he'd have done it in December instead of fighting David Ebenezer, and he'd have signed the contract then. So don't say it's common sense because he didn't do
I
it.
don't make excuses for that. I agree with you.
What we talking?
I'm not the other guy band up. He was making excuses for that.
Cool.
As a
I
Bud
appreciate.
fan, I don't make excuses for David Ebenezer.
I appreciate
Just
that.
like y'all shouldn't make excuses for Errol Spence fighting Mikey Garcia. It don't make
Got
sense.
you. So
It don't line up.
got you. So since you're not making excuses for Bud, I have to respect you on that.
Yeah.
So if you're not making excuses for the things that Bud Crawford say and the things that Bud Crawford does, how can you call me a Bud hater when he's doing and saying this stuff?
This is the thing. I don't think you actually hate him. When I say hater, it's just an analogy. It's just a word. I think you are very intelligent. I want to be clear. You're smart in what you're doing.
That doesn't excite me, though. That doesn't excite me. That's
cool.
great. I
I
don't care
don't think
about
you
that.
dislike him. I don't think you dislike him. You know, I think you have an agenda. You know, I don't know what your end goal is, but
Now
you
wait a
clearly
minute.
have an agenda.
Now you're spreading rumors and you're assuming, and you know that's not
I am
right.
assuming. It is what it is. That's what we do
That's not
anyway.
righteous, brother. Huh?
It is what it is, man.
I've never assumed nothing on this channel. I've been keeping it business the whole time.
You said it ain't a 50-50 fight. I think that's crazy. I think
Well,
that is
that's just
outrageous.
that's probably my opinion. But when it comes down to business, I've said nothing personal about Bud Crawford. Everything I've said was business. And guess what? It's not about me taking credit. I built my channel on the perspective of educating people about the business of boxing.
And I
It's not about
appreciate
me
you for
taking
that.
credit, huh?
And I appreciate you for that.
And guess what? So does Bud Crawford, because he about to get the biggest payday in his career, and he did the same two things that man Jamarty told him to do, and that was get good representation, and go sign with PBC in a multi-fight deal like Pacquiao did, and they got the deal done. I don't see how that's hate for Bud, personally speaking.
That's one good thing.
That's the only thing.
Yeah, that's
That's
one.
the only
But you
thing.
can't. But honestly though, you can't take credit for that. I mean, like,
I'm
to
not.
me,
No,
it's why.
see, wait. I don't want you to confuse my words, Cash. I'm not trying to take credit. All of the people in the chat and that's watching me live, they know for a fact, and I say it all the time. I don't do none of this for fame. I could have started a podcast 2-3 years ago, man. I'm
Yeah.
not doing this for no likes and no. Listen, I got a saying, Cash, and it's appropriate now. I don't do this for the likes. I don't do this for the looks. I do this for the licks. You dig? So I'm not trying to build. You like that, don't you? I know you like it. So I'm not trying to build my channel off of Crawford. But the crazy thing about it is I get criticized for reacting to the very thing that Crawford says and do, but people won't hold Crawford accountable for the stuff he say and do. Let me give you an example, Cash. So Crawford can get on an Instagram live and say, basically, in essence, he don't need boxing representation. He can talk to the higher ups by himself. He can sit at the table with them, no representation. He can get Al Heyman on the phone by himself. He don't need no representation. You remember Bud saying that?
Yes.
He winds up getting good representation, and then the deal got done. Bud Crawford says that they were on that side of the street, and that's why the fights couldn't get done. I said he should go over to that side of the street if it's that deep, and he went over there and he got the deal done.
See, that's nitpicking. I think that's nitpicking.
No, it's facts.
Yeah, but it's nitpicking though.
No, think about it. You're saying I'm a Bud hater, and I built my channel off of a guy who did not have, hold on, who did not have the business acumen to do this. You said it was common sense for him to do it, but he didn't have the business acumen to do what common sense told him to do. Hello.
Can I ask you a question?
So I provided the business perspective, and it got done. I'm not trying to take no credit. I don't care about that. I'm just saying the deal got done when he took the steps that I've been saying for 7 months that he should take. That's all I'm saying.
Can I ask you one question?
Absolutely.
Where do you rank Bud in the welterweight division?
Where do I rank him?
Yeah.
What do you mean, like on a scale of 1 to 10, or you just saying like what you mean?
Like out of all the top guys, like what would you rank him? You know, Virgil, Boots, you know, Errol, Bud, whoever.
Well, according to his resume, he's not too far from the lower level competition, like that Boots Fort, you know, Ortiz. He ain't up there with Spence. If you talking about resume in the welterweight division,
so I want you to rank. Okay, we go do this. We go do Spence, Bud, Virgil, and we go do Thurman, and you could throw Boots in there. Rank all of those guys.
I'm gonna put it to you like this in one sentence: Boots, Virgil Ortiz, and Bud Crawford. They all have one thing in common. You ready for this? They all have been match made like a prospect. Only 2 out of the 3 of those guys are actually prospects. So I expect Boots and Ortiz to be match made like prospects.
So what do you think about
lower level competition is what I'm saying.
What do you think about him fighting Sean Porter and Kell Brook?
Who?
Bud.
What do I think about it?
Yeah.
There was no incentive for him fighting either one of those two.
What about Jeff Horn?
There was an incentive for him to fight Jeff Horn. He won the WBO welterweight champion of the world. There was an incentive for him to fight him.
So you basically saying boxers should only fight for belts?
No, I'm basically saying that boxers should fight for big money. And you already know that Crawford fighting Porter wasn't no bigger money than he fighting Spence. Even you know that.
Well, that was his biggest payday up until.
How you know?
From what I've seen, the articles.
From where?
The news. That's on the internet. We on the same internet.
He was signed to a promoter.
But I heard that was his biggest payday up until that point.
No, listen to what I'm
wrong.
telling you.
I'm wrong.
No, it's okay. I'm going to use it as a teachable moment, not about you. Watch this. When a fighter is signed under contract with a promoter, and I've said this time and time again, they have a minimum and a maximum guarantee. In other words, is once you reach the maximum guarantee of your obligation contractually to that promoter, they don't have to pay you any more than that. So whatever his maximum was when he fought Kell Brook, whatever his maximum was when he fought Porter, whatever his maximum was when he fought Khan, it was still the same. It
What
was
about the
nothing
pay-per-view
different,
though?
huh?
What about the pay-per-view? That was
What
pay-per-view,
about it?
right?
What about it? He got
He
a
didn't get paid for the
guarantee.
pay-per-view.
No, he don't.
I'm be
He got
honest.
it.
I don't even like talking numbers. I don't even know why I'm getting into
All
this. I
right.
like
Well,
talking
I'm just saying
boxing.
he got it. Listen, this is how it works. He has a guaranteed contract.
Yeah.
No,
But I'll
nobody
be
said nothing
honest.
about no percentage in the guarantee. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I really don't like doing numbers. I really like talking
I
boxing.
do. That's why
I
I'm
don't.
on YouTube. I
Because
do.
I don't get paid. So I just like talking boxing.
But
So
no, I'm
I just
talking.
want to know. I think it's interesting when y'all don't give Bud credit for beating guys like Kell Brook or
How?
Sean Porter.
Why should he get credit for that?
Because you are a historian of boxing. I know you are. You're around the gyms. When I see you're around the Greg Hackett's. You know, you be in those gyms, so you know boxing.
Yes, I
So
do.
you mean to tell me when Muhammad Ali lost to Joe Frazier and then he went on to fight George Foreman and win the heavyweight title, he shouldn't get credit for that,
When he
right?
lost to Joe Frazier, yeah,
Yeah,
he
because
should
it
get
seems
credit.
like when you lose to somebody in today's game and you fight somebody and somebody who lost to a previous opponent, it just don't matter no more. I think that's so weird. Like Kell
Well,
Brook was a formidable opponent. Sean Porter is one of the greatest heavyweights in this era. He's fought everybody.
right, but see, you're trying to put me in that same crowd. And if you was here earlier, I dispelled that myth about me when I said you can win a fight in the ring, and you can also lose a fight in the ring and win a fight outside the ring. I said that before you jumped on here. Basically, what I'm saying is you can lose a fight in the ring, but you can also win fans. And when you win fans, you win funds. That is exactly what I said. So with that being said, when you talk about Ali losing to Joe Frazier, it didn't matter because even though he lost inside the ring, Ali, he was still the cash cow even outside the ring.
So you
So that's what I'm
basically
talking about.
you value money more than the actual match, the
No, I
actual
don't.
fight.
No, I don't. No, I
That's
don't.
what it sounds like.
No,
I don't care about
you're
I
not
don't care
listening.
about that part though.
But you're
Honestly,
not listening. My
I am
channel,
listening.
listen, my channel has been built off of the business of boxing. So, but you so caught up into trying to prove that my channel was built off of hating on Bud instead of looking at the fact that all of the content, okay, you're gonna say 80 of them about Bud. And guess what? 80 of them videos that you say is about Bud is about business. You can't find me one time saying nothing personal about Bud
But
Crawford.
it is 80 videos though, right?
It don't matter how many videos it
we,
is
we
hold
can
up, time
agree
out.
on that.
It don't the fact that you counting, the fact that y'all
I ain't
counting how
count.
many.
A good friend of mine counted, but I'm
I
gonna go
don't care.
count just to make
Hey, I
sure.
don't care who counting. The fact that y'all counting, y'all going on the channel counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, not this. 5. Y'all up there
Because
counting,
I'm
bro.
be honest, I like debating and I like to have facts. So when I'm debating, I want to make sure I got my facts with me. I
I
debate all day.
respect
I
that.
debate sports. I debate basketball, football, boxing. So I need to make sure I got backup. I need my evidence.
I respect that. The part that baffles me a lot is that people criticize the fact that I built my channel off of the business when before I got here, Cash, and even you know this, people were not educated on the business.
Nah,
You
that's
agree
facts.
with that?
Me included.
So how can y'all say I built my channel off of hating on Bud when people are learning the business of boxing when they encounter the channel? Y'all can't have it both ways.
Yeah, but me personally, I don't care about the business side of boxing.
But I do. And
And
I'm
I get that.
educating the people. That's what my channel is about. You see what
So
I'm saying?
let me ask you a question before I go. Do you really believe this is not, because I didn't see that live. I just seen the caption and I was busy that day and I wanted to go back and watch it. Do
All right.
you really believe this is not a 50-50 fight?
Do I believe that?
Errol Spence versus Bud Crawford is not a 50-50 fight.
I don't believe it. At
Why?
first I believed it because I did believe that it was a 50-50 fight because of two things. You got to listen, this is a business. It's about the bread. Listen, those guys wouldn't fight if it wasn't about no money. Ain't nobody fighting for free as professional fighters. So the money part, and I've been saying that since day one. I've been saying that since day one on my earlier videos. And number two is because Crawford never fought the level of competition on his resume. In other words, he's been built up like a Boots Ennis. He's been built up like a Virgil Ortiz. And what I mean by that is those guys are supposed to be built up like that because they are in contention of world championship status. Crawford already has a world championship title. So there's no need to build him up like that. But the reason why Top Rank and Brad Goodman promoted him that way is because obviously they know his strengths and weaknesses. And that's business. That's just how the business of boxing works.
But you
They're
can
not going
say
to
the
invest
same
all that
thing.
money for him to lose.
So okay, looking at Bud Crawford, the eye test again. I'm going to keep.
He's a
I'm
good
going.
counterpuncher.
He's a
He can
great
fight.
boxer. He's a great boxer, whether you
Terrence
like him or
Bud
not.
Crawford. Wait, Terrence
I've been watching boxing for a long time, and it's only a handful of guys with the tangibles that Crawford possesses. It's only a few.
Terrence Terrence Bud Crawford can fight his behind off. I am not doubting that at all. I just don't think he can beat Errol Spence.
I
That's
respect
all.
it, but I think this
That's
is a
all.
50-50 fight, and I
I
don't think it's
respect.
gonna go. I don't think it's gonna go the way you and your channel thinks it's going to go.
Why
But
you
the
say my
thing is,
channel? I have Bud Crawford fans that watch this
you got a
channel, and
lot of
even you know
Spence
that.
fans. This is the Spence. This is the Spence
No, it's
community over
not.
here.
No, it's
It
not.
is.
Go look in the
But I want
chat.
to be clear. I'm a Spence fan.
Hey,
I just
Cash,
don't think Spence could beat Bud. That's it.
Cash.
I think he beat
Let,
everybody else.
let me tell you a secret. Most Crawford fans, they're Spence fans too, but
They
they won't publicize it like you did. So I give you
Nah, I'm a
salute
Spence fan.
for having heart.
I think Spence is incredible. I just think it's one guy he can't beat, and that's Bud. That's it.
Hey,
That's
and
how I
guess
feel.
what? This is why I do town watch check-ins on this channel, because it's okay for us to disagree. The issue is that everybody's saying that I'm a Bud hater, but they keep watching the chat. I got go in the chat, Cash. I
Because
got
you have
Crawford fans in the
charisma,
chat.
you have a talent, you have the gift of gab. Of course, we go watch you. It
The
is what
gift
it
of
is.
gab, that's a
Yeah.
negative connotation with that
No,
when you
it's
say
not.
that.
No, it's not.
Yes, it
You
is.
have charisma. You know how to talk. You're very well spoken. You know how to grab people's attention
Why am I being criticized for that, brother?
because the person you're
Why am I
basically
being
critiquing.
criticized for that, brother?
Because the person you're critiquing. My only issue was you have to be honest. You are building a platform off of a man's name, whether you
Everything
want
I
to admit it
said,
or not.
hey Cash, you gotta agree with me. If you watch 80, you said I got 80 videos on this guy. You have to agree that the things that I say on this channel have been truthful and I've stood on integrity on this channel. Even you have to agree with that.
I ain't watched every video. I haven't
Well, you
watched every
watched at
video.
least two of them. You watched at least two.
I watch your lives. I be in your lives. I done been in about 3-4 lives, I'm gonna be
I
honest.
got you. Can you say one lie that I told about anybody, even Crawford? At least
It's not
one.
been it not being a 50-50 fight is a lie. That's blasphemy.
Well, that's an
That's it.
opinion. That's
I'm
an
gonna be
opinion.
honest with you. That's blasphemy. I ain't gonna
That's
say
an
it like
opinion.
that's
That's an
crazy to
opinion.
me. I don't even think Spence is willing to admit that. Spence even knows it's a 50-50 fight. He knows that. So let me ask you this. Let's say that this fight going down in July, ain't no running from it. God forbid anybody get injured, anything
Oh,
stopping
don't
it.
you say God forbid, because somebody might get injured, and then we gonna say that it was. Go ahead, I'm listening. That's
But
why I said I don't know.
let's say Bud smoking. Let's say Bud just smokes him. Then you have to come on this channel. This is what I want from you. I'm asking. You ain't got to do it, but I just want you. I hope somebody record this live. I want you to come on this channel and say, okay, now I see why Bud didn't get the fights he was supposed to get. It
I
all
got you.
makes sense.
Okay. Now
Because
I got.
people criticize his resume, but I look at his skill set, and I'm
I
here to
got
tell
you.
you right now, I wouldn't want to fight that dude. I
So
don't care about nothing y'all talking about.
I got you.
That's not
So
an easy fight.
so Cash. So Cash. Do you know how many people that's watching me right now that feel the same way you do? Let me reframe that. Watch this. You said you don't care about his resume. You're looking at his skill set. That's what you said
At welterweight.
at welterweight.
I can be
There-
honest. His resume at welterweight is
okay, great.
just mediocre. I give
So
it a
Cash.
7 though.
All right, cool. So Cash, watch this. Do you know there's people in the chat that's watching me live right now that feel the same way you do about me? In other words, is they don't care what my resume is on 100 something videos or 80 videos I do with Crawford. They respect my skill set. So why am I being criticized? If you can take that position on Crawford, why can't the supporters of this channel take the same position about me? Some
I
people don't
agree.
care. Some people don't care about my resume of how many videos I did on Crawford. They just respect the skill set. But you gonna call it the gift of gab when it's the skill set that I have.
First of all, that's not an insult. I've been using gift. My
Oh,
grandma
okay.
taught me that word. That's not an insult.
All
The
right.
gift of
I
gab is
won't take it as an insult.
just being
I
able to
won't take it as
grab
an
people.
insult.
That's
All right.
all.
I won't take it as an insult. That's the gift that I
Yeah,
have. I'm
yeah.
not,
You have the gift.
but I use it in a righteous way. I don't use it to manipulate and gaslight and lie. You know, the three things that you even seen Crawford do. Even you seen him do those three things.
I wouldn't say that. I don't
You
think
never
he.
heard Crawford lie before?
Okay, let me ask you this.
No. I'm asking you something. Have you ever heard Crawford lie before?
I don't consider it lying. I think he made some mistakes. I don't think that's lying. It's like me telling my girl I'm not gonna talk to this woman, and then I see this woman somewhere else, and she looking a little, a little more appealing, and I end up talking to this woman. Initially, I wasn't gonna talk to her. I had no interest in talking to her
Uh,
until I saw her somewhere else, and I talked to her. You're basically nitpicking and saying he said he wasn't gonna sign. He didn't need representation, and he ended up needing representation. I said he made a mistake. I don't think
all right, I'm
that's
gonna put it
lying.
to you like this. He told Andre Ward that he don't care about being undisputed.
I think that was him just throwing a temper tantrum. Like
Oh,
that's
okay. So
all.
you get to choose what he meant. You the translator. All right, no problem. He told the girl Katie Abdul. He told her he already been undisputed. So it ain't no big deal to him no more.
That's probably how he felt.
Okay,
I don't see
great.
an issue with that. The fight here, July 29th, he about to be two-time undisputed.
Right,
So we're
but
gonna
that's
keep
what
holding that over his head.
but what I'm basically showing you is his words and his actions don't match up, bro.
They clearly do. Because he also said he wanted to fight Spence. See, this is the thing. He said he
And
wanted
he
to fight
said he
Spence
ain't want to
too.
fight him either.
But he also said he wanted to fight him. So
So
which one
which
is he
one we
gonna
gonna
hold?
believe, his words or his actions?
His actions, because he's fighting him. Thank you.
Yeah, you saying that
Thank you.
now because he's fighting him now,
Thank
but
you.
last
But
year
thank
you
you.
wasn't saying that.
So basically, his words only matter when they don't fit your agenda. Because he's also
No,
said he wanted to
no,
fight.
no, don't do that. Hey, Cash, don't do that because
Smart,
you
man. You
no
smart.
cash. Let me tell you, you're just telling me what I mean. Let me tell you what I mean.
Go ahead.
Anybody's words, and people on this channel know how I am. Anybody's words that don't match their actions is not being truthful, brother. That's facts. That's not a principle of manager Marty. That's a principle of life. If someone says, I love you, and they don't show you with their actions, they don't love you. If
I
someone
agree.
says that they are sorry for hitting you and they hit you again tomorrow, two more times, they're not sorry, bro. So if Terrence Bud Crawford says with his words, I don't want to fight Spence, and then he don't sign the contract, I'm going to believe he don't want to fight him.
Okay, so if he says he wants to fight Spence and he signs the contract, you still
I'm
not
a,
gonna believe him.
I'm a believe him.
All right.
You know why, Cash? Because he said he wanted to fight him and he didn't sign the contract. And that's why I believe he didn't want to fight him. You see how the logic still stay the same, bro?
Y'all be picking and choosing, man. Y'all pick and choose.
No, I don't. Listen, I stay on the same topic. Business, business, business,
Okay,
business.
let me do this. Uh, Give me some things about Bud Crawford that you like.
Huh?
Give me some things, because there's a lot of Bud fans in here that think you are a hater. So let's give Bud some flowers. Can we do that?
Yes, I'm gonna give him two flowers right here. You ready for it? He got good representation and he signed a deal with two fights with PBC. I salute you, Bud. I said it on Tuesday, Bud. If you ain't listening, I salute you for doing the great thing for your business and for your life and for your family. You have been warned to do this over and over again, and you've finally done it. You get credit for getting good representation, and you also get credit for signing that deal over there like Pacquiao did, the multi-fight deal with PBC, just like Devin Haney did, signing a multi-fight deal with Top Rank. Ain't no different. Salute to Bud Crawford.
Hey, one more thing. I know it's more people that want to get on here. When Bud beat Spence, how you gonna look at his resume then?
He's gonna get credit for only fighting Spence and beating Spence in the welterweight division.
So you're not gonna accept the fact that it's a possibility that he couldn't get those fights for the simple fact.
No, I'm not gonna worry about the past. If he beats Spence, he's going to get credit for beating Spence.
Okay.
I'm going to give him credit for beating Spence. I just don't think he's going to beat him. That's just my opinion.
All right. I think he gonna beat him, and I think he gonna make it look a lot easier than people think.
Hey, then guess what? The fans win at the end of the day. We all in for a good treat.
All right. Hey man, I appreciate you. I'm gonna still talk about my stuff, and I'm gonna
Oh
be
yeah, I respect it, bro.
I'm gonna be in the chat, cooking you here and there. But it's all love, man.
You got it, my
I wanna
man.
be
Thanks
clear.
for coming on, brother.
All right, my guy.
You got it. The viewership is increasing exponentially. I was trying to get off and get to the main event of what we really want to talk about, but we have Jeffrey Brooks here. What's going on, Jeff?
Pretty good. Can you hear me pretty clear?
I can hear you. Let me get these super chats real quick because they've been waiting for a little minute. And I'm gonna start with your super chat first, Jeffrey Brooks. So thank you. I can say this to your face. Thank you for supporting the channel, man. for contributing to the channel. Salute to you, brother. I appreciate it. Jeffrey Brooks says, would I love to know if now that Bud made this fight, does all the Spence fans owe Bud an apology about ducking from being scared? That was the question from the guy that you see on your screen, Jeffrey Brooks. Coach Amber, salute to her again. Thank you, Coach. Says, if you don't have a USA Boxing ID number, no mas. Gregory Quarterbomb says, Sean was the WBO mandatory for Bud. Thank you for your contribution again, Greg. Brock Howard, my God, thank you for your contribution. Brock says, Tyson get no credit for beating Holmes or Pinklin Thomas. And Jay Miller, thank you for your contribution and your support to the channel. Jay Miller says, y'all notice how this Cash dude didn't have to make that claim about Errol because dude said he want Bud and he stayed with that. Thank you all for your support contribution to the channel. The chat is blowing up tremendously right now. Hey, Jeffrey Brooks, you're here now. I'm not sure if this is the first time that you joined the panel. I do recall seeing your name in the chat several times in the past. So I welcome you on the channel. Salute to you. What's good, my brother?
Oh, pretty good, man. Yeah, this is my first time on the channel. But I do remember just about your first day when you was kind of, you trying to get some people on your channel and everything. So I have to say you actually came a long way. I be on Fanon's channel a lot as well. I'm a Bud Crawford fan, but I did want to ask you because I heard you kept saying Bud got the correct representation. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So he finally got the correct representation. I like to know who represented him to get that fight because he's been representing himself the whole time, even during the first negotiation, right?
Yes.
So who was that? Because the PBC, he was talking to the PBC the first time he didn't make the fight. I always said him and Spence needed to talk, which they finally did, and the fight finally got made because the problem was the first time they wasn't talking. You see what I'm saying? They wasn't picking up the phone talking, but they had each other's number. I said, y'all not talking. Why y'all need to talk? Because you just leaving him to do business with Al Heyman, and Al Heyman really wanted him to fight Keith Thurman, truthfully. So I really don't feel like he really wanted that. Al Heyman really didn't want to make that fight with Spence. Him and Spence got to talking, and I think that's how the fight ended up getting made.
Okay, why do you think that Al Heyman would rather for Spence to fight Thurman instead of Crawford?
Because that we can tell that's exactly what he was trying to set up, right? Before, after Crawford went and fought what's that guy? That Ebenezer guy. He went and fought him, and then he said, "As soon as I fight him, I'm gonna come right back to the table, and we're gonna go to negotiate, talk with the Spence fight." So, but by the time he was done with that fight, he was ready to negotiate, and then that's when Earl said, "Well, I'm gonna have to spin the block." Well, not Earl didn't say that, but Bud said, "You go ahead and spin the block or whatever." And then he was trying to set the Keith Thurman fight up, which Errol Spence never did want in the first place, right? So I think the only way that was out of that fight is when them two, Errol Spence had to actually sit down. I don't know exactly what happened, but as we can see, the Thurman fight is off and the Bud fight is on. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like Al Heyman wanted that fight all along.
No, you're assuming that
Al Heyman. It's all assuming because we all don't know. Y'all wasn't there, right?
Right, but so, I'm just saying you're assuming that Al Heyman, and I'm gonna take Terence Bud Crawford words himself to disprove your claim. Terence Bud Crawford said on an Instagram IG Live, he said himself, he said that Al Heyman told him, "Ain't nobody touching this fight." Did he not say that?
Yes, he did say that.
what he was saying was, Al Heyman, I'm saying, was that
Okay.
this fight is the biggest fight in boxing, and he's representing the champion that have 3 belts in the division, and it would be stupid, just senseless, for him to sell a contractual agreement or his interest in Spence to some random people over this hedge fund who he don't even know nothing about those people, and then have them basically secure the deal and push Al Heyman out the way. Where they do that at? Al Heyman,
So,
Al Heyman wanted Spence to fight Crawford, and that's why Crawford was on the phone with Al Heyman. That's the truth. Al Heyman would have not invested his time talking to no Terence Crawford and wouldn't have sent him a proposal in May, Terence Crawford words, a contract in August, Terence Crawford words, and guess what? If it was all like that, like I ain't want him to fight him, Terence Ball Crawford would have gave them ample notice to let them know that I'm negotiating with another company and I'm going to go fight somebody else. But he didn't do that because he knew Al Heyman and Spence really wanted this fight. His actions spoke louder than all of our words.
so what was the hold up the whole time? Because he went and took another fight because this fight was taking too long to make in the first place. And
What fight?
if
What
Al
fight?
Heyman wanted the Spence fight the first time, it was taking too long for that to get made the first time. So that's why he went and took. Well, they say $10 million. We don't know exactly what he got for the fight, but he was going to get some other money, right? Because it was taking too long for them to make up.
Why was it taking too long?
Well, we're gonna use the words of what Bud Crawford was saying.
What
Right?
he say?
It was taking Al Heyman too long to figure out what he far as the split percentage, right?
No, that's not what Crawford said. Hey,
What did he
Jeff,
say?
that's not what
Okay.
Crawford said.
Okay.
Crawford said that Al Heyman told him that he was dragging his feet on signing the contract. He said that in the IG Live. He said Al Heyman told him that Crawford was dragging their feet. So the fight didn't happen because Al didn't want it to happen. It didn't happen because Crawford was dragging his feet. And the reason why thank you for admitting that, Jeffrey. Thank you. And the
Okay.
reason why Crawford was dragging his feet is because they
Uh-huh.
needed time to get David Evanesian off of that card and get him
Oh,
approved in America to get. You don't think so? Okay, now I got something for you.
He was taking too long. He was taking.
All right, say no more.
But Bud Crawford, it was taking too long because he was Al Heyman was taking too long to come up with the number. No, Bud Crawford wasn't happy with what he was being offered. Okay, so that's why they got to talk about the 1942. They tried to offer us a 1942 slave contract deal.
Slave.
Remember that?
What
Right?
does that mean?
You remember that?
What does that mean?
That?
Slave.
The 1942, basically an unfair contract deal.
How you know? How you know it's unfair?
Because that's what the words came out of Terence Crawford's mouth.
You believe everything Crawford say?
I mean, do you believe anything?
No,
anything else?
You are
going off.
Hold on.
Yes, I do. I believe certain things. I believe certain. There has to be a reason why it took so long.
Okay. So
get made, right?
All right, good. So did you ever hear Terence Bud Crawford say one lie? Being honest, bro, as a Crawford fan, did you ever hear him say one lie?
I can't sit here and say if it was a lie. Not because me, just like everybody else, wasn't at the negotiation table, right?
No, not just a negotiation. I'm just saying it. Period. Maybe a whole year ago. Any
I
time.
can't say that because I don't personally know whatever came out of Terence Crawford's mouth was a lie or was the truth because I'm not here doing the situation.
So good. All right. So let me ask you a question. If you don't know what a person is saying out their mouth is true or false, what is the other indicator to prove what's true or false?
We can only go by what both sides are saying. That's Bud Crawford and Errol Spence side, right?
Let me reframe
the issue was everybody is criticizing Bud Crawford on you ducking, you doing this, you doing that. So what makes them say that he's stuck? I can ask the same question, right? Reverse, right?
Let me reframe the question.
Okay.
If someone says something to you, you don't know them, They don't know
Okay.
you, but they said something to you, describing themselves to you with their words. What is
Okay.
another key indicator for you to believe the words that they said to you?
I mean, prove. Prove. You gotta. I mean,
How,
prove what you saying.
how
You gotta prove. You gotta prove what you're saying is correct, right?
okay,
Okay.
so the proof is in their actions. You would agree with that, right?
Not necessarily. Yeah. I complete it. Yeah, I complete that to an extent. We don't know what the reason the action is for. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
that's fine.
It's
We
fine.
we
Okay.
we can't control how somebody respond. All we
Exactly.
can do is go by what they say with their words, and we
Okay.
hear them, and then we turn around and see with our eyes what they do, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So Terrence Bud Crawford said out of his mouth, and you heard with your
Okay.
ears that he don't want to fight Errol Spence. You heard him say that, right?
Nope. I didn't hear that.
You
I'm gonna tell you
didn't.
what I heard. I'm gonna tell you what I heard.
No,
He
no, hold on,
said,
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. You
"Okay,
didn't hear him say he don't want to
I
fight him.
know. I'm gonna correct you on that. I'm gonna correct
No,
you what
no, no, no.
exactly.
It's okay. Listen, Jeff. Listen.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
not. I'm not arguing with you.
Oh.
If you didn't hear
Okay.
it, fine. I'll go to my next point. Did you
Okay.
hear him say that he don't care about being undisputed in the welterweight division?
I didn't hear that neither.
You didn't hear that either.
I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that part.
You didn't hear that. Okay.
No, I didn't hear him. He don't care about being undefeated. Here's what I did hear.
Okay, hold on, hold on. Did you hear
Okay.
Bud Crawford say that top? Did you hear Bud Crawford say, or did you hear Bud Crawford say out of his mouth that Bob Arum was a racist?
Yeah, I did hear that.
You did hear that?
I did hear that part. Yeah.
I didn't hear Bud Crawford say that.
Okay.
But he filed a lawsuit with his actions, and he mentioned it in the lawsuit with his actions. But I didn't hear him say, right? Just like you said, you didn't hear him say he don't want to be undisputed in the welterweight division. But all
Okay.
up until this point, before last week or 2 weeks ago, he didn't show us with his actions that he wanted to fight. So basically, he left everybody to believe that he didn't want to fight because he said it out of his own mouth that he didn't care about being undisputed. In fact, he told Katie Abdullah that he's done it already, so it's no big deal to him.
Let me ask you this question: was that before the negotiations? Was that during the negotiations or before the negotiations? Sorry.
What part?
That he don't want to be care about being undisputed.
Well, you're the Bud Crawford fan, so I consider you the expert of Crawford. You don't know what.
What? I'm trying to ask. I'm asking that question to get to a point, really, right? Okay.
Okay.
So, what I'm asking was that before the negotiation, because I didn't hear, right? Remember, I didn't hear that. So I'm asking you, was that before or after or during the negotiation?
That was right around the time when he was about to fight David Evanesian when he said that. That was
Right
after
before,
the first. That was after the first negotiation when he said that.
after the first negotiation. Oh, okay.
Well, he said it twice. Let me clarify this.
Okay.
He said it to Katie. I keep mispronouncing her last name, but I'm just gonna call her Katie. He said it to Katie on her podcast. But
Okay.
before that, a couple of years before that, and I published this on my channel, he told Andre Ward. He don't even care if he fights Spence. It ain't that big of a deal to him. And Andre Ward said, if you don't fight that man, I'm going to be very disappointed in you, Bud. And Bud Crawford's response was, oh, well, I guess it is what it is. You didn't hear that?
Okay. Well, I be honest with you, a lot of stuff after the first negotiations, to be honest with you, I kind of got caught up in my work life a little bit,
No, I
and
respect that. I understand. No, I
it was just
understand.
taking so long. It was taking so long with everything to get done. Finalized the first time. I ain't gonna lie, I lost a little bit of interest myself.
I
Right?
got you, bro.
I lost hope in that even happening. Right? So, but only thing I can say, I can't say his reason. Since me and you don't know his exact reason why he did it, I can only speculate why he probably did it. And why he probably has said that is because nothing was getting done during the first negotiations because he he went to he went on live himself and said what was the hold up, and he was kind of pointing fingers at Al Heyman then, right? Well, which a lot of people say, oh, that's a lie. He's lying on that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say he probably lost a little interest, a little bit of hope himself.
You
said,
speculate,
man, you know what?
Jeff.
Well,
You're speculating.
That's
No,
all we got to do.
you're saying he could have been thinking this. He could have been. Y'all keep speculating, bro.
Well, you looking for answers for me with that, and I wasn't there though, and nobody else was there. Neither you was.
But you can go by the word.
I can't give you a depth answer. I don't know. But I don't know him personally. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Hey,
I know.
But
we
this whole thing is all speculation. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but what I'm saying is you're basing everything else. You're basing everything else you've been pointing out based on what Bud says. That's why I asked you, do you believe everything he says? Now you've been very selective, Jeffrey. You've been very selective with what you're hearing. You hear certain pieces of what Bud say, but then when I ask you important things, you don't know what Bud says.
But
Testing one,
come
two,
on,
one,
you
two.
can apply. You can ask the same question because the problem is. Yeah, hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, brother.
Okay. The issue is that the Spence fans been criticizing Bud the whole time during the negotiations with the you ducking and no, you're lying and all this and all that. So I mean, I can hit everybody, you and everybody else, the Spence fans, with the same question. You guys just speculating because y'all wasn't at the negotiation table. That's really
did I tell you I was
point.
Jeff, did I tell you I was a Spence fan? You are assuming. You're assuming again. Did I tell
I have heard you criticize. Okay, I heard you criticize.
No, I'm asking
you, a lot of times.
Did you hear me? But did you hear me say I'm a Spence fan? Did you hear me say that?
I mean, with the criticism
you
of
can
Bud,
what? You can what? Assume, right?
With the criticism of Bud, you criticize Bud. I don't have to assume that. I've been hearing you criticizing Bud a lot.
Yeah, I
right?
make no apologies for that. My channel is based on the business perspective of boxing.
So when you criticizing him, what are you basing? Are you basing this off of facts or speculation yourself?
Jeffrey Brooks, you watch my channel long enough, and even you know I've based everything I've said about Bud on facts.
But you criticize me for giving him his props, but it's not. It could go the other way. I can reverse that the other way because you have been criticizing him, and I can say, well, you assuming yourself because you don't know the true facts to that if you weren't at the negotiation, right?
I got you. I got you. So does it bother you that I criticize Crawford? Does that bother you?
No, it's all. You know what? At the end of the day, especially now, I don't. No, it's all sports stuff. It's all.
All right,
I'm just trying to keep everything balanced as far as well, he's not doing that. He's not doing it on one side, then the other side. Well, how can you say? You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to cut out I'm trying to think of the word to say that the contradiction part to that. You know what I'm saying?
I got you. Salute to my guy, AM Sports Media, Jay in the building. Salute AM Sports Media. So it doesn't bother you if I criticize Crawford from a business perspective. It doesn't bother you, right?
It does, because you know what, I always like to I don't mind respectfully disagreeing. Respect. I use the word respect. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't have no issues. Maybe some Bud fans get on here. Oh man, you saying okay, fine. My whole thing, okay, fine. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But the thing is, now when you ask me, you say to me, how do you know that? It's speculation. All speculating, but that's the same thing that's coming from you because you don't know that yourself, right? Because you wasn't there neither. Neither was I.
I'm going by work. The difference between me and you, when you do it, Jeff, you say it could have been this. This is what I think Bud, that's what y'all be doing. But when I do it, it's about, let me tell you what his words say. I'm going to roll the tape on that, and I'm going to show you what his actions did. That's all I've been doing.
Well,
You
his
see what I'm
actions,
saying?
well, his actions is he made the fight.
No,
So
you
he,
saying that
so,
now.
so, so,
But Jeff,
so,
but
so,
Jeff,
so, the duck,
you,
so, so
but
that,
Jeff,
so that does that not eliminate the duck talk to him being a duck the whole
But
time?
Jeff, you saying that now. Oh, hold up, Jeff. You're making that a narrative point now. Oh, he's made the fight though. You saying that
Because the
now,
work,
but you didn't
that's
say
the
that
final
last
work.
month. Jeff,
That's the final work,
but
right?
Jeff, but Jeff, you was in my comment section 2 months ago, and you ain't say all that. You ain't say, oh man, the fight is being done now. You ain't say that then.
No, I've been no because you know why? Because I didn't know if the fight was gonna get done, right? Just like
But you
you
was
didn't
cool.
know you didn't
Right,
know
but
the
you
fight was gonna get done. You didn't
and,
believe
and
the
I
fight was
and
gonna
I
get done.
and I still don't know if the fight gonna get done on July 29th.
And still, well, I mean, it's supposed to be confirmed. Like you say, anything that's gonna probably hinder it is maybe like an injury or whatever else. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Or whatever. But I mean, if the date set, the dates are set for July the 29th, and you know, I mean, everything else, all the other dates was kind of speculation dates, right?
Yeah,
It is
yeah. You
by
was
by by Mr. Mike Carpenter, which I just like you, I kind of find him to be an unreliable source because he was a part of this throwing the wrong dates out there. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh, okay.
you
I
know,
see. So you was cool with Crawford fighting David Evanesian, right?
I was cool with it. I was
You was
cool with it.
you was
While
cool with it, right?
everybody, yeah, while everybody else was calling saying it was a duck move, but I was cool with. I was okay with it.
See?
And now that this
Why?
fight just got made,
Why was you cool with it?
I'm gonna tell you why it is solidified why I was even more cool with it now that this fight just got made, right? Because, like I said, it was taking a while to make the Spence fight. If there's another fight that was in between for him to go and pick up another bag of money and then come back to the tables and work on another deal for some more money, then why not?
He was
Well,
already
why
here's the difference with that, Jeff.
not?
And y'all keep
Okay,
forgetting this. He was
okay.
in the middle of negotiating a deal to make the fight happen with Spence. It wasn't like he had a choice, let me fight David Evanesian or Spence first. No, he was in the middle of a deal to get it done. And and hold on, and he distanced himself from the deal, didn't even let them know what he was doing, and then he signed the deal to fight David Evanesian. Now you said you was cool with that. I have a question since you was cool with that. How can
Okay.
Terence, how can Terence Crawford do an IG live announcing the fight between him and David Evanesian on November the 1st when David Evanesian was scheduled to fight 18 days before that on another card?
How can I be cool with that? You asking?
Listen, David Evanesian was scheduled to fight on November the 19th, right?
Right. That's correct.
How did Crawford know 18 days prior to David Evanesian scheduled to fight? How did he know he was fighting David Evanesian? 18 days before David Evanesian was supposed to fight on another card.
Well, you and I know the answer to that because he was already negotiating with talking with BLK, right?
And you cool with that?
Well, why wouldn't I be?
If Crawford would have lost to
What,
David Evanesian, you wouldn't have been cool with that.
No, you a boxer. You gotta, hey, that's the chances you take. You know what I'm saying? If they supposedly offered him $10 million, supposedly, because I don't know the truth of that. But if it was $10 million, you went and got $10 million, and you coming over here to get another $10 million in 7 months later, that's $20 million in 7 months. So why wouldn't you do it? And you got a family, right?
He didn't get $10 million. He didn't get $10 million to fight
Okay,
David Evanesian.
let's say five. Okay, let's say $5 million. That's $15 million in 7 months. What's wrong with that?
Nothing's wrong with it.
Okay, so
The thing that was wrong with
why do he got to be a duck from everybody? You ducking because you scared to take the punishment from Spence and this and that. No, that's not the case. It's called business. It's a business. It was
now it's business. Hey Jeff. Now it's about business. But then when I get on the channel and educate the, hold on, Jeff, it's about business when Crawford do that move that he did with David. But then when I get on YouTube and I do everything about business, I get criticized. Now you know that don't make no sense. So
what you mean though? What you mean by you said everything?
let me give you an example. So Crawford is doing good business in your eyes by securing the bag to fight Ebenezer first and then Spence. He gets credit in your eyes for that because that was a good business move. There shouldn't be no criticism to him. But I am the one actually providing business education for people, even though I'm using Crawford as a reference. I'm getting criticized. So y'all can't have it both ways. You can't give credit to Bud by doing good business, and then when I get on YouTube and express what good business look like, I get criticized. Which one is it?
I mean, what does that depend on? What did you think? Because a lot of times, I watch your channel not a lot because I like to say I'm busy a lot of times, right? But I don't know what you said as far as you to even get criticized about. Though. I have to know what you said to get criticized about. To know if that's a good business. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, as far as on the fighter's behalf, what he just did, as far as on the fighter's behalf, that's let's say 15 to 20 million dollars. He's about to get supposedly $10 million with Spence. Let's say he got about $5 million would be okay. That's 15 million in seven.
Okay, great.
And when he was with Top Rank, he was getting 4 to 6 million per fight. So you just went and got $15 million in 7 months. What's the problem? How is that not good business? And you still got the fifth fight on top of it.
Let me ask you a question, Jeff Brooks.
Okay.
Do you agree that if Bud Crawford would not have gotten good representation or signed that 2-fight deal with PBC, do you agree he would never be fighting Spence right now?
I'm sorry, say that again.
If Crawford would not have agreed to getting reputable, good representation and or signing a multi-fight deal with PBC, do you believe that this fight would be happening right now?
If he didn't agree with that,
if he didn't agree to the multi-fight deal on PBC, and if he did not have good representation with him, do you think this fight would have happened?
No, it wouldn't have. And I think that was, I think that was the problem the whole time. He wasn't getting a good deal. That's the reason why they throwing out 1942 slave deal.
No.
They did say that. You said that they didn't say things. Oh, he's been offered a 1942 slave deal. You don't remember them teams. You don't remember Team Buck, but you don't believe what they say. So if you don't believe what they say, then I guess you're gonna shoot that down.
Nobody offered no Bud Crawford no 1942 deal.
Now how do you know?
You know how I know that?
Yeah, I want to know how you know that.
Because he told the world that he agreed to all the terms. You remember he said that? Do you remember him saying that?
Was it in writing? Was it in writing?
Jeffrey Brooks, do you remember? But hold on, because you have selective hearing.
Yes, I do. But was that or was that not in writing?
Can you at least answer the question? Do you remember Bud Crawford?
I remember that. I can say a lot of things too. I can say I agree. I agree with I agree what color should Jim usually wearing or whatever. But don't necessarily mean I didn't contract that out and say, look, my signature's on here.
Okay. So you agreeing that it's a possibility that he lied then?
Well, I mean, as far as now, it's not in writing. It wasn't in writing, right? Everything has to go on the dotted line.
It wasn't writing. He said he agreed to all the terms. That wasn't verbal. That was all written, bro.
Well, how do you do a written contract and then turn around and go and get another fight without being sued?
No, he didn't sign it.
Oh, okay. That's what I'm talking about, though.
But he said he agreed to the terms. His words said he agreed.
I can say a lot of things.
But Jeff, you're giving the man a pass. Jeff, you're giving the man a pass, and your pass that you're giving him violates basic life principles. You're giving him a pass. Hold on, Jeff. You're giving him Jeff. Hold on, Jeff. You're giving him a pass. You're giving him a pass by saying I can say a lot of things, but that don't mean it's true. If the guy said he agreed to the terms with his mouth, His actions should have dictated what his words said, and they did not. How can you be okay with this?
Because it's the same. It's no different than, let's say, you've been working at a job for a few years, and you've been asking for a raise. The job ain't give you a raise. Get another job come along and offer you more money, and then you go and take that. You go and take that job over there. But then your other job, your job that you're working at, turn around offer you a raise that still don't add up to how much this new job will have you starting off at.
You're assuming, Jeffrey.
This is
You're
all
assuming.
This is all assuming. If you say
No,
actions,
it's not.
his actions was hold on. You said actions, right? So his actions was he said yes to the agreeing, right? And then he turned around and went over there. Those was his actions. So we want to judge off of his actions. That's what his actions were saying. I said, oh yes, I'm gonna go ahead and agree to all terms. But what? Oh, here come be okay. What y'all got? To me, oh, let me put this fence fight on pause real quick. I'll be right back with you. That's the actions to what that's the actions he did. So if you said judge off the actions, that was the actions right there.
All right, so why he ain't fight another fight on BLK Prime? He said they was the new wave. Why he only do one fight with them?
I heard him say he's gonna come back to the fence fight after he will go ahead and whip up on him, and that's what he did.
I know, but he said they're the new wave. You're supposed to jump on new wave. So why he only do one fight with BLK Prime?
New wave, as far as what I mean, what you mean by as far
That's
as
what
wave?
he said. That's what Crawford said, brother.
What does that mean?
Well, you've been interpreting for him all night. You tell me what that means.
Well, you just threw it out there though. You gotta tell me what he talked about as far as new wave. I didn't hear him say it. You said that's what he said,
God,
right?
you ain't hear that man say nothing, Jeff. Come on, Jeff. You ain't never heard nothing that man said.
I heard. Well, see, you don't agree with what I told you. I heard that came out of his mouth. As far as I heard him, as far as he said, the fight, it doesn't matter. He said it doesn't matter if I get this fight. If I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. That's not the same thing as saying I don't care about being undisputed. I don't know if that's the part you're trying to talk about. But as far as it doesn't matter to me if I'm undisputed. If I get it, that all falls in the category of y'all taking too long. PBC is too hard to do business with. That can fall under the same category as that, really. You know what I'm saying?
Well, PBC been doing good business for the last couple of years, and ain't nobody else had no problem with him.
But he's not a part of the PBC, right? Okay,
Who?
so that's in.
Who?
But Crawford wasn't a part of PBC, so they could be looking at that as wait a minute, you want to come here and ask for a what? A 50-50, and you go and take all the damn belts and ride off into the sunset, and it's not an in-house fight. So they could have been like, hey, well, man, no, you gonna take this. You gonna give you this and give that, and you probably wasn't agreeing to it.
All right,
I mean, it's all could have maybe, but guess what? At the end of the day, guess what? What happened? It's supposed to be what, a 50-50 split.
I don't know.
They both supposed to get what, 10 million?
I don't know.
Right, I don't know neither.
That's Mike Coppinger saying that. I don't know. He's not
a credible. He ain't the only one. He ain't the only one.
Right, but he's the first one that broke the story, and everybody else repeating what he said. He's not a credible source on this channel.
I agree with you on that. I agree 100%. But how is we gonna ever find out what he got then? We're gonna
it's none of our business. It's none of our business. I don't care. What difference do it make if he made 2 million or 10?
How do we find out where everybody else got as far as other fights and all that? How do we find that out?
I don't do that on my channel. I don't talk about what people's pockets is. I talk about business. If they get 2 million, salute to them. They getting more money than everybody else that's on this channel, including me. So that don't make me none.
We gotta talk about that because that's the whole reason of us finding out what the hell happened all this time. What was the whole back and forth?
We don't need to know that, Jeff. That's information we don't need to know. What we know is that he went in the middle of a deal and he fought David Evanesian, a guy who was ranked number 6 in the WBO, and he skipped over Boots, who was ranked number 2 in the WBO. We don't need to know how much he got paid. These are his actions.
You said we don't got to sit here and talk about the numbers about that, or the reason why, because of the numbers. Probably the numbers wasn't right. We got to talk about the numbers.
Well, if the numbers wasn't right, why? Okay, so why is the numbers wasn't right? Why is he over there fighting now? Why he fighting the guy now if the number wasn't right before?
Why is he fighting who? Spence now or David Evanesian? Why is he fighting Spence
You know
right
he
now?
ain't fighting no David Evanesian now, bro.
Okay, so we talking about Spence, right? Okay.
Yes.
Apparently the numbers is right.
How did the numbers turn? How did the numbers get right all of a sudden? How?
Apparently they had to get. They must have made it right. But let us go back. Now let's go back to Floyd Mayweather, right? The very first.
No, I don't want to talk about Floyd.
I don't want to talk about that.
Crawford.
Okay. Well,
Let
I'm
me
saying.
show you something. Do you see what that screen say? What that say right there?
Nip it in the bud about that.
Yeah, we ain't talking about no Mayweather. We talking about Bud.
But I'm talking about. I got to go back there to kind of touch on my.
You
point.
can't compare no Mayweather to Bud.
You can't
even compare that.
He been saying the fight ain't gonna happen back then. So
no,
why he said that? He said the fight need to marinate. That's exactly what he said.
Who said that?
Floyd said the fight need to marinate. Any time to marinate, it ain't ready to happen yet.
Hey Jeff. Jeff, you know what's funny to me? You remember what everybody else said. You remember what Floyd said, but you don't remember what the guy Crawford said, and you a fan of his? Hey, Jeff, man.
I told you what he said. He said it didn't matter to him if he got the Spence fight. He said if I do, I do. If I don't, I'm not gonna worry. I ain't gonna worry about it.
You told me you saw Crawford on the IG Live, and I mentioned 3 things that he said on IG Live, and you said that you ain't know he said it, you ain't hear him.
So well, apparently you asking me, did you hear it?
I did 3 videos and broke everything down. I would recommend you go check it out, brother, on my channel.
Okay. So you say, so what? 2 of the ones I didn't hear, you heard, and the one I say I did hear, you didn't hear. That's how that going?
I heard everything he said.
Okay.
Yeah, and I critiqued everything he said too, and I've been criticized for it, which is fine with me. But I'm just saying though, you won't criticize Crawford when he criticized Danny Garcia, Spence, Kell Brook, and Sean Porter. You won't criticize Crawford for him criticizing other fighters, but y'all criticizing me for criticizing him. Where they do that at, y'all?
I mean, if that's how he feel like they're no competition. They were so apparently Danny Garcia, when he said Danny Garcia Spence ain't fought no competition, no real competition.
Neither did he.
I agree with that. I agree. I don't.
So how he gonna criticize somebody when he ain't doing?
Because y'all was criticizing him first.
That sounds like females do that, bro. She was talking about me, so I'm talking about grown men. We ain't gonna give him no pass for that, bro.
If you sitting here and saying I ain't been fighting no competition, I agree that you didn't fight no real competition neither. Then that's a matter of his opinion.
This is your logic.
You got your opinion. I got mine.
This what this boiled down to?
I mean, his own opinion. Well, it was cool when his resume was weak, but ain't fought nobody. He need to fight some competition before he gets Spence fight. That was cool, that was all cool. Now when he come out and say you ain't fought no competition, oh man, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
We knew. No, but Danny Garcia did fight competition. That's the difference between him and Bud. In fact, Danny Garcia's resume in the welterweight division is more credible than Terence Crawford's.
Yeah, a lot of people is. I mean, a lot of people's resume is more credible.
Thank you.
Okay, I agree with you. I got common ground with that. Far as the resume, I always said it probably should have been the 50-50 because that was the argument a long time ago. What should it be, a 50-50 split and all that? And I always say no. Spence is the A side. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Spence fan as well.
I know you are, Jeff. Hey, Jeff, can I tell you a secret? I just told the guy Cash this before you got on. I'm going to tell you a secret. Most of Crawford fans, they're Spence fans on the low, too.
Yeah. and it go. It's the other way around too. You know, they work the
I
other way
know.
around. I mean, they're both great fighters. It's gonna be a good. It's gonna be a good fight. Me personally, I think it's gonna end in the TKO. You know what I'm saying? But that's my opinion.
I
You know
got
what I'm
you.
saying?
You're entitled to it.
So if it's not a TKO, it's most definitely going to be a knock. If it's going to go to a decision, I think Bud's going to win the decision with a knockdown. I think if it does go to a decision, it's going to be with a knock. It's going to come with a knockdown. But now I'm going by his pattern. You know what I'm saying? Every time he been TKO on the last 10 or 11 opponents in a row. So I mean I don't see.
He did what? You said he did what in the last 10 something?
He got his last 10 fights was what, TKOs, right?
Who, Crawford?
Yeah, put 10 in a row.
Yeah, Jeffrey Brooks, you can TKO them guys.
You know, I mean, fights all about strategy too. You know what I'm saying? I understand. I mean, they saying, hey, you ain't fighting no good opponents and all that. But I mean, what you got? What you gonna define a good opponent as? What, you know? How can you define that? You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I understand people he fought is no big name, but that don't mean they ain't got no snowball chance of hell of having a good skill. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the whole skill resume and all that, you ain't got no big name. You don't have no big names, but that doesn't mean you're not fighting no good competition still.
Well, we know Crawford ain't fighting no good competition in the welterweight division. We know that to be true, man. We know that, and that's okay.
So the Machine, what's his name? Mean Machine. He wasn't no good competition. You don't think he wasn't no good competition? Y'all say he got dropped in.
Did you know who Mean Machine was before he fought Crawford?
I did. I did. I heard of him, but I did. No, I did most definitely. But as far as looking at the fight, I mean, he put up a pretty good fight with Bud.
He knocked Bud Crawford down, though, too.
Oh, right. A lot of people say he got knocked down. I mean, it probably wasn't. I would say it might have been knocked down. It could have been a slip. But I'm saying, I think
it wasn't no slip, Jeff. Dad, y'all won't give that. Y'all won't hold that man accountable for nothing, bro. All right, listen, hey Jeff, I got to get on with the show, man. I've kind of like prolonged it, but I appreciate you coming on. I got to get these super chats, man. Thank you for your super chat again, bro. Thank you for coming on. Much respect to you, man, and hopefully I check you out again Tuesday night, brother.
Oh yeah, I'll check out your super chat. Now that I see it more often, I'll be on here a lot more.
I appreciate the viewership, man. Salute. Thanks.
All right, no problem. Thanks.
I know that we went a little bit too far and too long with the whole nip it in the bud segment. We're going to get to our main event right now. I hope you all were educated at least. I hope you all were entertained at least. The chat is popping. It's just, man, the chat is like on fire tonight. So salute to all of you all that's engaging in the chat. Much respect for you. Thank you for your super chat. Again, Coach Amber says rejected the same deal and hired someone, charged him a percentage to take the same DAMN deal, Jack. Totally agree with you, Coach Amber. That's the exact point that I've been trying to make all week long. Basically, Terence Crawford has to give a percentage of his purse to someone who represented him. Well, he could have took the deal last year and would have saved him a whole bunch of money in his car insurance. Thank you for that, Coach Amber. Darrell Rockstrong, salute. Thank you for your contribution to the channel. T. Wells, thank you for your support and contribution to the channel. Manager Marty, keep cooking these Bud fans. Hashtag man down. Then we got T. Wells again. Thank you for your contribution and your support. Says Bud bankrupt BLK Prime. Thank you so much, all of you, for your contribution and your support. The chat is on fire right now, y'all. Y'all don't even understand this. The electricity that's in the room right now in this chat is reverberating through my screen. The chat is, I'm telling you, this is one of the best chats I've seen on this channel. I'm a keep it all the way 100. But I hope you all learned something tonight. I hope you all got a little bit of entertainment. You see how most Bud Crawford fans always do hypotheticals, what if, shoulda, coulda, woulda, all these different assumptions that are made. And it's so crazy how some of them, and you've seen it tonight, and you've also seen it on Tuesday night if you were here, that they will trade in and exchange their integrity to just take up for Crawford when they know he's lied, when they know he's double talked, when they know that his words did not match his actions for a consistent long period of time. And so it's like, listen, we can say, all right, the fight is here now, but what it is that don't stop me from being criticized, right? So just like Cash said earlier, that he don't care about Bud Crawford's resume, he looks at his skill set. And I told Cash, there's people that watch and view this channel that don't care about how many videos I did referencing Terence Crawford. They only care about the content and learning the information. And that's what this whole thing is about. And so that's why I put the segment together to give some people the opportunity and the platform to be able to say what you gonna say. And that's exactly what we've had tonight. And it provides a form of entertainment and education. So, it's like I feel like Bud did this and what I think. All of them were trying to interpret and translate to me and the viewership about what Bud meant when he said this, what Bud meant when he did this. And it's like, no, just look at his words and his actions like you do everybody else. If I put up 80 something video, well, the guy said 80, I don't know how many videos I did, but if I put up 80 videos and they are all providing a business perspective on Bud Crawford's words and actions, nobody will say, you know what? I'm listening to his content and he makes a lot of sense. And it sounds like he's talking about the business. Most people will say, you know what? This is a good channel. But then you got some people that'll say, oh, man, he's just a Bud hater. Did you hear the content? Yeah, I heard it, but he's still a Bud hater. But wait a minute. Aren't you the same one that gave credit to Crawford for saying some of the same things? So it's like, which one is it? Thank you, Andre Miller. Thank you for your contribution in the Cash App. Really, really appreciate it. So listen, I won't hold you all too long. I do want to talk about this. I love the chat right now. What's up, Dahlia? What's going on, sweetheart? Good to see you. Terence Buck Crawford said in a recent interview that this fight will sell itself. Joan Turner. I just want to address something from Joan Turner. I see something in the chat real quick. Joan Turner. Have you noticed how Marty never addresses me or my questions? Joan Turner, I don't really recall seeing you in the chat before tonight. But I will say this, Joan Turner. If you had any questions, hold up. Let's do this right now. Y'all know how Manager Marty is. Hold on. I know I show my face when I want to say something. Joan Turner. You know the link was pinned to the chat, Joan Turner. I flew a kite in the chat. So whatever questions that you wanted to address to me, you could have clicked the link and came on like the other Bud Crawford fans did. But you chose not to. You chose not to come and hit the link. So why are you in the chat trying to cause a riot when you had ample opportunity to come on here live and live in color? And you should have took the opportunity to do it. So Joan Turner, I don't know why you're saying that I'm ducking you or I'm purposely not trying to answer your question or address you, but you could have got all your questions answered if you would have just bing, click the link. Right? That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I understand you saying, you know what? Let's do this. Joan Turner, come on up. Link still up. I'm still gonna get to the main event, y'all. We gonna get to it. Come on up, Joan Turner. Link is still pinned up to the. Link still pinned to the chat, to the top and all that, right? Come on in. You ask your questions right now. Come on in. Joan Turner, come on in. You said I'm here in the chat. You said I'm here. That's Dahlia. Let me try to pull his joint or her joint up. Hold up. It's not letting me say I'm here. Okay, it's not letting me pull you up. Good. Come on up. Link in the chat. Just come on up. That's all. Just come on up. Because you stopping the show, we're going to give you a little platform. Come on up. Let me put these on. Put these on right here. Get studious for a minute. Come on up, John. You can get opportunity right now. Louis Jackson, thank you for subscribing to the channel. Appreciate it, brother. And thank you for engaging in the chat. He just told me he's a new subscriber. Thank you so much. This channel is about providing education and entertainment. Hey, Joan, the link is up there. Come on and hit the link and come on up. We need answers. Come on up, Joan. I'm here. Just start. Where? You said I'm here. Just start. Where you at? I'm looking where it say guest. I'm in the back office. I don't see no guest back there. Hit the link. Come on. Let me hold on for a minute. Well, in the Matrix is a new subscriber to the channel. Salute to you as well for being a new subscriber to the channel. This is what we do. So glad to have you. Come on up, Joan. Not gonna come? All right, well, doing all that talking for then. That's what I'm saying. Y'all be in the chat, in the comments section, y'all saying all this crazy stuff. I'm giving you opportunity. Come on through. Come on through. Oh, they already telling me in the chat you ain't doing nothing. All right. Take these back off. You ain't doing nothing. They already, I see my people in the chat. Salute to my family in the chat. They telling me you playing. You don't want no smoke. That's all. I thought you really wanted some. You know what I mean? Go ahead. You don't want no work. You playing. Let's get back to our regularly scheduled program. Now, Bud Crawford said that this fight will sell itself. I'm here to tell you that this fight will not. In fact, this fight won't sell itself. This fight won't sell itself. It just won't. Bud Crawford has to sell this fight. Terence Crawford. Errol Spence has to sell this fight. The promotion, they have to sell this fight. The YouTube boxing community has to sell this fight. This fight does not sell itself. It doesn't. And the reason why Bud Crawford said that is because he was asked a question by the interviewer regarding the head-to-head competition that this fight on July 29th is going to have with a UFC pay-per-view event. UFC pay-per-view event. And I'm going to tell you something. UFC does very, very well with selling pay-per-views. They have a great, and huge, when I say great, I mean huge. They have a colossal fan base that's very dedicated and committed to purchasing their pay-per-views. So this fight is going to go head-to-head. This fight, meaning Terence Bud Crawford and Errol Spence Jr., is going to go head-to-head on the same night, don't know exactly what time, with Crawford Spence. Crawford Spence is going head-to-head with a UFC pay-per-view on July 29th, if they fight, right? But Bud Crawford is saying this fight sells itself. This fight does not. Just the fact that you have another audience that's going to be tuned into a different pay-per-view that this promotion is going head to head with, that's one reason why this fight cannot and won't sell itself. Because you have to galvanize the buying public to believe that this fight is as equally or as more important than the competition that night, which is the UFC pay-per-view card. And we know that controversy creates what? Cash. Didn't I say that? So with that being said, the press conference cannot be dull. We know that Errol Spence Jr., he sit back and he kind of relaxes, right? We know that Terence Crawford, he sit back and he relaxes. Well, the multi-fight, the multi-city press tour can't be like that. When they go to New York, they got to turn up on each other. When they go to LA, they got to turn up on each other. I don't know where else they going. They probably travel down south somewhere too. Wherever they go, they're going to have to turn up because this fight won't sell itself. This is not a situation where this fight is on autopilot. We don't even know who the undercards are right now. That's going to help sell this fight. That's what's going to help sell the fight, having a stacked undercard. And it don't have to be all champions on the undercard, right? But it has to be fighters who draw not just a small fan base, but that draw marketing powers. Because if you have an undercard that's not really good and you're expecting people to pay the amount of money that they're going to charge, not just only for pay-per-view, but also for the live gate, you're going to have a competitive undercard in this fight. Because I got a feeling that this fight is going to be charged more than they did Garcia and Tank. Just my personal opinion. I think that this fight is going to cost the buying public over $85. Because I think Tank and them was $85, right? This might be 90 and up. It's possible. I can project that based on Spence and Crawford. This is a fight that has been brewing for a long time. However, that's not enough to galvanize the public to automatically buy this fight. This is not an autopilot promotion. Both of these two athletes, both of these two world champions are going to have to sell this fight. This fight won't sell itself. No fight in the history of boxing of this magnitude, particularly in this division, sold itself. Leonard, Hagler, which is what they're comparing this to, Hearns, Hagler, Hearns, Duran, Leonard, Hagler, Leonard Duran, etc., etc. They was talking greasy to each other at the press conference. They was doing certain things to build and promote the fight. So if Terence Crawford thinks that all him and Spence is going to have to do is sit back at a press conference and be quiet and be cordial and be, not disrespectful, but respectful to a point where it's like happy-go-lucky, we besties and all that, kissing and hugging and cuckoo and he it ain't going to happen. The same way Oscar De La Hoya and Floyd Mayweather fought. Floyd recognized that he couldn't do like he usually do. And that is being professional and just chilling. When he was going against the Golden Boy, he knew that Oscar De La Hoya was going to be calm and relaxed. So he had to go in there and be what they call the bad guy. One of these guys is going to have to be the bad guy at these press conferences, in the media, to galvanize fans to buy this fight. And one other important factor that I'm going to bring up is the fact that we've already bought pay-per-views from January to now. January, pay-per-view was bought. Hector Garcia versus who? Tank Davis. Next pay-per-view was what? Caleb Plant versus David Benavidez. Next pay-per-view, literally a month after that, Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis. And now here we look, another pay-per-view. Lomachenko versus Devin Haney. And nearly in 2 months, allegedly, we're going to have to buy another pay-per-view in Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. We're talking business now, ladies and gentlemen. Members of the jury, members of the Roll the Tape film crew. We spent a lot of money this year just watching pay-per-view fights. I'm not even talking about DAZN and subscribing to the fights that was on DAZN for a nominal fee. So, I'm just saying that we spent a lot of money on boxing from January to now within 6 months. So with that being said, this promotion is not going to be on autopilot. Both of these fighters are going to have to sell this fight. Hardcore boxing fans, yes, we want to see this fight. Yes, we've been craving for this fight for years. Yes, some of us believe the fight should have been happened, blasey. But we're talking about casual fans. The tickets for this fight, from what I've seen, is about over $10,000 on the floor, all the way up to the nosebleed. And when I say nosebleed, I'm talking about runny nosebleed. All the way up is nothing less than $1,000 sitting all the way up the top of it. So with that being said, you can already gauge to see what the price point is going to be like, even on pay-per-view. They got to build a good undercard. This fight is not going to sell itself. You need an action-packed undercard that's going to galvanize the boxing public to buy not just this fight, but that whole card, and justify charging the amount of money that they're charging live gate and even on pay-per-view. And you have two fighters who have a more calm, relaxed demeanor in front of the media. That cannot happen this time around. They have to sell this fight. This fight won't sell itself. And the fact that Crawford believes that, and I'm not criticizing the guy, but we got to keep it 100. Not on this part, I'm not criticizing. Don't understand business promotion. Don't understand boxing promotion. To think that there's not a marketing budget that has to be invested in building this fight and promoting it. This fight is not a fight that can be just on autopilot. They are going to have to sell this fight. Think about it. The money that Showtime is going to have to invest in the programming, in the production, in the crew, in the product, in the post-editing, when we talk about all access with both of these fighters. See, y'all not looking at that. They have to invest money and pay for all of those expenses I just said and even more. Equipment, don't forget about that. Okay? So if they're going to invest all this money to produce and publish content that's going to highlight these fighters in the interim of promoting this fight don't sell itself. Money is injected into a budget to market this fight. And so what I'm basically saying is, see, you think I'm talking about ticket sales. I mean, listen, everybody want to see a good fight. So the people will show up. That's cool. But I'm talking about the pay-per-view audience. I keep telling y'all that there's a difference between a pay-per-view audience and a regular stream audience. Terence Crawford does really well on regular ESPN. His history proves that. But when he goes on the ESPN plus side on the pay-per-view, he don't sell well. That's because there's two different audiences. So that's what I keep trying to educate you all on. You know what I mean? Greg Quarterbomb, thank you for your support and contribution to the channel. Says both fighters need to step outside themselves and promote in a major way. All parties have to pull out all the stops. I totally agree, Greg. Totally agree with that. That's true. The undercard has to be good. You cannot justify charging people $90 to $100 to see one fight and the undercard is terrible. No disrespect, but let's keep it 100. Why do you think BLK Prime got away with what they did? That undercard when Crawford fought David Evanesian, no disrespect to those fighters. Competition-wise, wasn't that good. Wasn't that entertaining. But to whom much is given, much is required. They didn't charge you $75, $80, $85, $90, $95, $100 to watch it either. So you get what you pay for. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying in comparison right now. That's how promotion works. And so they're going to have to sell this fight. They just are. And I believe that if they sell this fight the right way, it's going to do the numbers that it's supposed to be. I mean, look at Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis. They didn't just sit back and relax at the press conferences and the city tours and talking to the media. No. They know what they had to do to get in there and sell it, and they sold it. And it's no different from Crawford and Spence. They have to sell this fight. The undercard has to be sold properly, has to be matched properly. The time slot has to be matched properly with the production and programming, especially when you're competing with a UFC pay-per-view card, and UFC has they have a huge fan base now. On the same night. So there's certain nuances that have to go into promoting this fight. And so just saying, oh, this fight's going to sell itself. No, you got to do the work. So with that being said, I appreciate all of your viewership tonight. The hour is near us, 3 minutes and 3 hours, 20 something minutes. Hopefully you all learned something today about the business of boxing that you did not learn. You might have to go back and watch the replay of it. But even if you didn't learn anything or if you knew something already, the great thing about it is you were entertained tonight. And that's all that matters. As long as you're entertained and being educated on this channel. I can't speak for nobody else, what everybody else do, but on this channel, I go out of my way to make sure I dedicate myself to provide education and entertainment. And so, salute to Jackie Hernandez. I didn't know you was here, Jack. Salute to you. Welcome. I always salute and welcome the ladies in the chat. And speaking of the ladies real quick, let me put this plug in there real quick. Don't forget, y'all, tomorrow, Clarissa Shields will be fighting. The fight that she was scheduled to fight, the opponent, unfortunately, she tested positive for a banned substance. So now Clarissa Shields, she's still fighting at home in Detroit, to my understanding, but she's fighting a different opponent, a last-minute replacement. And I believe they fight tomorrow evening. Just wanted to throw that out there real quick. So salute to everybody in the chat. This was one of the hottest chats I ever seen. This chat was on fire this evening. Really, really good engagement. And I appreciate your support. I thank you all for your viewership. Tune in live and in living color on this Tuesday night for another unknown episode of Roll the Tape Podcast with Manager Marty. I'll be right here. God willing, look forward to seeing all of you. Salute to everyone who viewed this channel. Those of you who commented in the comment section below, that's watching the replay of this live, thank you for everybody who contributed and supported this channel financially. Thank y'all very, very much. I really, really appreciate you all. I look forward to seeing all of you Tuesday evening if you can. And we're going to continue to talk about the business of boxing and the sport of boxing. And I agree with most of you in the chat. You all did a wonderful. I'm still excited about the chat. Good job. And we're going to bring on a panelist guest on the next um, episode of this podcast. And let me say this before I go. Um, do you all remember the referee that officiated the Devin Haney versus Vasily Lomachenko fight? Do you all remember that? His name is Harvey Dock. Harvey's a buddy of mine. And I will have Harvey Dock, the referee that officiated the Devin Haney versus Vasily Lomachenko fight. I will have him here, interview him on the channel in a few weeks. We're trying to iron out the details uh, right about now in the interim, but he will be here on this channel, and I'm going to produce him to all of you, and hopefully you'll have enough time to get your questions ready if you have any for Harvey. He's a good guy, and I'm going to start trying the best I could to bring certain guests on here. I've made a commitment with, oh man, what's my boy name? Malik Scott from Philly, who trains Deontay Wilder. But we're still trying to work out some details as well because he's on the West Coast. And so, yep. So that's the situation with that. So I'll keep, making announcements about it leading up to Harvey coming on the channel. He's looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. I know you all are looking forward to it because he was the referee in that fight once again between Devin Haney and Lomachenko. But anyway, I'll look forward to seeing all of you on Tuesday evening. I'm going to produce content every day up until then. To me, this was a very good live tonight. Very, very good live tonight. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you all learned something about the business of boxing or even was entertained or a combination of both. Look forward to seeing you all again Tuesday. I'm Manager Marty. Till next time.